Yeah, Vasa, speak on that. What you were saying about the paint? Is we live?
Yeah, we just went live.
Okay, yeah, Vasa, touch on that about the paintings and the utopia because that's that's a integral point to the painting, and to be honest, that's what an artist is supposed to do. So yeah, they following right in line. But yeah, speak on them utopias.
Yeah, peace to the brothers on the panel and audience. Where we at? We at Niger Valley now. Peace to my
Yep.
Niger Valley brothers and sisters. I hope y'all enjoy the show. Yeah, behind the curtains, we was just discussing how you have to go back and look at a lot of these, let's say, early 19th, late 18th, and late 17th century artworks and verify that the models and the actual scenery that you're in these artists create are valid physical places and people instead of a product of their imagination. Even if you look at it, you can almost see this new form of exotic art being formed. But if you look at it, it'll say, this Persian place or this exotic place, but it's all pale skinned people there. And I heard Sutek kind of bring to the forefront that if they did depict him more, he was always in servitude. He wasn't in a high prestige spot. He wasn't the king of that palace. He was the bodyguard. He was the bouncer. So yeah, that's one of the things I think we should be mindful of, and that goes into you have to be careful of how you let others define this world and your place in it, because you can just as well create those same artistic expressions, these same forms of communication we call language, and create your own worldview. But I'll chime out, y'all, because I don't want my phone to die in the middle of me talking.
Yeah, man. Imaginative literature. Imaginative literature. That's all it is. And that's what in that Christina Marios Christina Ramos dissertation, that's what she touched on that a lot too. About it being imaginative imaginative literature.
Hey, before my phone dies out, since we
Go ahead.
got somebody in Ohio, uh, is Bone Thugs? Are they Moors? Cause they do be like Mo Thug a lot.
Nah, man, they wasn't talking about that at all.
No, I just
More thugs.
Especially if you talking about Busy Bone, he a little on the. I ain't gonna say he on the kooky side, but he a little extra when it comes to things.
oh, that's my dude right there. But yeah,
Yeah,
if you
no,
listen
he be
to some of his
snapping. I'm
lyrics,
talking about. I ain't
he
talking
be
about this lyrics. I'm talking about personal. He done
yeah,
seen some things though too, so Yeah, they ain't repping no mores though. I know that.
yeah. I was just teasing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's some
so,
rappers out there that is though.
But you do got a point though, because Busy will confuse you. Busy will have a verse bigging up Jesus, but he telling you to follow the Quran and follow Allah at the same time.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he be out there.
and then he'll break into the science of the pyramids all in one song, but the science be right and everything else be like, "Hey man, what you talking about?" Yeah, but
Yep,
I think that's just lyricism and him playing with stuff.
it could be.
Man, they just regular people. Be all over the place like any other normal people.
Yeah, and they move a
All right.
lot too.
Yeah, shit, you talking about Moorish rappers. You must be talking about Nick Cannon. No, Nick Cannon think he everything from a Moor
With the
to
turban,
Hebrew.
y'all think he wanted a part in the Aladdin movie? Is that what that turban
I
all
would enjoy seeing him in it.
Yeah.
They done took Nick Cannon's dream away. He wanted to play Aladdin.
Yeah, I would enjoy seeing him in
I always said this, you know, like it's just certain things for certain people. For me, Like you got aesthetics that play a role in everything. Like certain people's looks, like your swag and how you carry yourself. Certain things look right on certain people, and then there's always opinion. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some things don't look right on certain people, and then I don't care who you are, you just probably shouldn't be rocking that. Like certain people just don't need to. Like certain people don't need to have a bald head. Certain people don't need to have hair. Like it just don't look right on you. Like and I know that could be a biased thing, but some people just try too hard to be certain things instead of just really research what they think they being. And for me, I feel like because when you talk about black struggle and liberating black people, and then you turn around and you got, you know what I'm saying, you got a turban on, and you quote unquote black, as we call in America black. I'm talking about African descent black. I mean, you could say what you want, and I want all the smoke, but I think you need to take that turban off.
Now, what's up with the how y'all feel about the headdresses? Like, what do y'all? Because I noticed Nick Cannon, he wears something on his head,
That's what I'm talking about.
and the
Turban.
Moors, yeah, and the Moors, they wear something on their head. Uh, what do y'all feel about the headdress about the Moors, man? I know we done talked about it, but let's bring it up.
It's
The
the same
feds,
thing.
The new equivalent of the KFC bucket.
But no,
Psychological.
they say it's
Psychological.
knowledge behind it and all this and that. It's 360 degrees of knowledge. And then like certain castles, man. So you break that shit down, Sutek.
Well, I was asking in the sense of the symbology and feeling a part of when I asked that question. That they feel that they are part of something now by rocking that hat. The Shriners and whatever it is. It's no different than rocking a Raiders helmet. I'm going through my mind. That's just showing you where they at. I don't think it's gonna give us any special powers though at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Religion is culture. Religion is culture. So if you adopting the religion of a people, you adopting their culture too, whether you know it or not. So you're gonna wear fezzes, you're gonna dye your beard red, you're gonna pray 5 times a day. You're gonna do all that because religion is culture. And if you adopting the people's religion, inherently you adopting their culture.
I've always wondered if yarmulkes and all those headscarves was there to keep them from getting sunburned on their skull.
But from what I heard, a lot of it is sand. Those were desert dwelling people. So a lot of, well, at least from what I heard, was to protect their hair from the sand.
Yeah, I was under that impression as well that the headdress was for that reason, and even the covering of the face. Like, I mean, you get that out. I mean, you can notice that if you watch well, I don't know if not y'all watch. I watch cowboy movies, or I used to. I don't really watch them like I used to no more. But that's where the scarf came from, man. The handkerchief or whatever. They was wearing that shit to block the sun or block the sand and stuff from their face over there when they did the West expansion. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay, see, I didn't know that.
you find that that's why they wear that around their neck, the handkerchief, and even like I'm trying to think of a NFL team where they got that handkerchief on there. But yeah, man, that's what they had that for, was to keep that out their face.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It make perfect sense though.
It's crazy,
Perfect.
man, when you're talking to people and you correlate things like that, and then you just take the mythos out of it.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's the same thing. The turban, the turban that the Moors was wearing. It might not be like the same exact type of turban, but yeah, that same type that Nick Cannon be having on. Nick Cannon be having the Noble Drew Ali turban on.
Yeah, and I be wanting to know, like, cause I seen a an older black lady was rocking that. I wanted to ask her, but I ain't asked her. But I wanted to be like, what's because if you wearing something different, people are already looking at you, and then you say something about it, they may get offended. But Yeah, I wonder what the purpose of wearing that is over here in America. Is it a symbol status? Is it a symbol status? Is it showing that you're a part of something, or are you just wearing it because you think it's cool and it separates you from the next black man? I don't know.
I think it's the same as a Christian rocking the cross. Just let you know what I mean, or a more rocking the feds. You know what I'm saying? Just to let you know what it is,
Hmm.
what they down with. But yeah, yeah, they this same shit. They into Islam in some type of way.
Yeah,
I don't get what is this Islam is the black man's religion come from. Oh yeah, Jeremiah. You want to hop on Jeremiah?
we just on here building JJ, man. Come on in here. Ain't nobody trying to bite.
They go to link.
But shit, he ain't no more though.
Nah, he ain't no more. He ain't no more, but he sure was defending him.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking like he ain't no more. He a Hebrew.
Yeah, and his all letter was somebody ain't no white boys. I showed that. Let me pull that up again in case I know he missed. Yeah, man. You go right to this public knowledge. You go right over here to Wiki. But damn, Arabic term used in the Maghreb region of North Africa to refer to lighter skin or white Moors.
What was that? You sharing your screen? I don't think you sharing.
Oh yeah, okay, hold on, let me see. I know what it is. Let me take this banner. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Badan is an Arabic term used in the Maghreb region of North Africa to refer to lighter skin or white Moors. We're talking about ain't no white Moors. In contrast to the Haratine, I talked about them in my presentation too. The Haratine is also referred to Haratini, or a group of people known to be descendants of black slaves that lived especially in the Maghreb. They are particularly found in modern Mauritania, Morocco, and Western Sahara, and Algeria. So those were the black Moors, the Haratine, the slaves and the descendants of slaves. Come on in, JJ. Nah, you wanted to defend them, bro. So they gotta hold that.
And he said, I gotta have all my energy for divine prospect tonight. You need
Yeah,
100% energy. He ain't trying to let none of it out.
yeah, we can beat up on Hebrews too. I don't discriminate.
Yeah, you say something bad about Shalom, or whatever they say, Shalom, JJ, hop on here.
Uh, man, y'all debate. What y'all debate? Y'all debating? Are demons real, bro? Come on now. You might well come on here and show me how you a Hebrew Israelite.
Peace, brother.
Peace, 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 sis.
That's one of the major things that I highlighted in my notes was the Herentine business. It's just like with the Spanish and the Mexicans and the Indians. They raped all the Indians, made Mexicans, but they were the Euros that came over and conquered the people. And then everybody sees the Mexicans as Spanish now, but they don't like that. because that's who amalgamated them. It's the same with the Arabs, with the so-called Moors back then, which were the Arabs or the Euros, did to the Haritines, which is us, and then they blended it, took it over. But what I'm going to point out is it looks the same to me. It looks like the Hebrew Israelites, the the black Muslims, anybody that was radical got nullified, or what you call that when you make it little. They got indifferent. They became indifferent. Everybody became indifferent to them because they became Hebrew Israelites, the crazy York people, and who's the other group? The York people, the Hebrew Israelites, and the Moors. They unblacked. They de-blackified. I don't know of a better term. They de-blackified all of those groups to say, hey, take away the core. You understand? And
Mhm.
it made them pacified, or no, it's a good word for it. But they basically put everybody in cowboy boots so everybody would laugh at them in Atlanta. I don't know if you remember, but the York people, he actually got he actually got he got them to wear cowboy boots and cowboy outfits to look like the hillbillies. He got black people to do this in Atlanta. Like I saw this with my own eyes, and it was so embarrassing. So I really and truly, I don't feel that we should be wearing anything that is, if we're wearing a hick costume, Arab costume, or um, anything that's not black, it's kind of coonery and it's very embarrassing. It's like clown behavior. That's how I feel.
That was my point about Nick Cannon with the turban.
That's what I
Sis.
was relaying to. Yes, that part. It
Yeah,
reminds me of the York
yeah.
people. The York, he made everybody take off different costumes about 3 different times. I think it was a hillbilly phase, and then the turban, that crazy turban, the Swami turban phase, and then there was one other phase that made me really really laugh, but I can't remember what that costume was. But it was like 3 different costumes, and he was showing the Babylon government, "Hey, I've got these niggas in check. Watch, I can make them show their ass and make buffoons of them own selves." That's what it looked like to me as a teenager, as a young teenager. So, like, I know people, I know some wars. I don't know the whole get down in shenanigans because that's not us. But it was, I appreciate your scholarship too. I did take a lot of notes, because I never knew about the Haritines until now. I just knew it was some kind of conquistador business, and why are they following the Arabs? That's all I knew in a nutshell. But you broke it down. Give thanks, brother.
No problem. No problem.
Hey, for
Also,
y'all Cowboys hillbillies though. Man, she just dagged my whole bloodline. She just dagged my whole bloodline. I'm gonna be quiet.
So sorry.
He just playing.
Okay, okay.
Hey,
yeah,
where you from, sis?
I would like to say I have been in America for a very long time. So I don't want to distinguish me from I'm the same kind of, I'm the same kind of black as you. I'm a
Yeah,
black
but
person in
I have
America.
a
I'm an
thing for
African
that
displaced.
accent though. I love the
Okay, all
accent.
right.
Like I taught
So
myself how to speak Jamaican patois. That's why I'm asking. I'm really into
my
language. So
formative years, before I was a grown woman, may have started in the Caribbean and then the Bay Area.
okay.
West Side.
Yes, West. Oh yeah, okay. And I want to say this to you, brothers, before I forget, because I'll forget. Um, I created a playlist just because of the times. You know how, I- back in the day, we used to really feel ourselves. We used to like, how you go rolling. We used to really feel ourselves. So I made a playlist, an A1, an African first, Africa first playlist, and it has all the like the vibes from I think the 90s, but it's today. You understand with regard to the whole them murking us all and everything. So it's got like RBGs and Ti, it's got knock. You feel me? It's got real and what's his name? Banner.
David Banner.
Yeah, David Banner. Yeah, him. It's got a lot. I mean, I think you appreciate of it. I mean, it's to get up and go music. Like before you know what I'm saying? Before you have to get up and start your day.
You telling me you got a workout playlist for us, sis?
Yes, it's a
Already
workout
planned?
playlist. That's what I do. I work out to that. So I call it riding music, but look on my thing. It says A1. You feel me? like the hot sauce. A1, Africa
Hey.
first. And it says riding music. So I think all of you brothers would love it. That's my, me and the kids when we feeling ourselves.
Oh, definitely as a musician, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, we do our little music shows over here too. Nigel Valley Civilization. We got our R&B '90s shows, our 90s hip hop shows, 2000 hip hop. Yeah, we do a little bit of that over here too.
I saw y'all trying to be a DJ. I saw that. That's why I thought you would appreciate my little stab at it. That's why
Oh,
I
okay.
said, oh, that's how they feel. Okay, I have something for them too. So
Now, which show did you listen to? What vibe was we on?
it was some hip hop vibes. You guys was trying to, like you guys were throwing records at each other, like, well, how about this and how about this? So I was like, well, shucks, how about wireless? So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we got
So you'll know I looked at your shows too because you'll be feeling my list. That's how I know you'll like it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we'll check that out. Definitely check that out. Look, and talking about the Heritage though, then when you're dealing with the Touareg, a specific set of Berbers, you got the Equine. The Equine is a caste within Tuareg society who were at one time slaves or servile communities. While the E-clan now speak the same language as the Tuareg nobles and share many customs, they are of assimilated Nilotic origin rather than a Berber heritage like the ethnic Tuareg. They also often live in communities separated from other castes. So these black Tuareg that a lot of people like to talk about, like the brother right here, were slaves as well, just like the Heritage. So these are the Heritage of the Sahara, the Equine. Yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. So when you're talking about Berbers and our connection to them, that was our connection to them. The same connection that Native Americans had to us. We were in servile condition to them. Same thing with the Arabs. Same thing with the Europeans. That's our connection with the Berbers. Servile condition, servants, slaves. So that's where we go. Where JJ go?
Man, he gotta get ready for that boy Divine. He's not playing around.
So this word Badani, it means Berberish or like Arabish or mixed with Arab.
It means the whites. Al Badan means
Badani's
whites.
okay. Badani's means white.
Yeah, so they called themselves the whites. It was really more of a metaphorical sense, but those people were also of lighter, a much lighter skin tone than the sub-Saharan Africans like me and you.
Okay.
And the sub-Saharan Africans like me and you would be the heritage.
The Heritines, yes.
Yep, yep.
I think too, to understand everything, like I always say, our people have always been multicultural, multifaceted in the sense that we have beautiful black people on this panel and that tune in to watch and will be tuned into the archives. Um, and so, each and every one of us on this panel, we have a different accent. We have a different way we say things. Why I ask you, sis, like, because I hear the accent, I'm like, you know what I mean? I get excited. I want to go straight patois on somebody because the construction of that language is so crucial to our understanding in the Caribbean, where we were being shipped off to first anyway. Of those languages that developed on those islands, we were carrying our African lineage with our tongue over there. and then we had to assimilate with whatever Irish English, British English, whoever that was on whatever island, and we had to mix that stuff. Um, and it's crazy because we can all be on this panel, and if Satep might see something I have on, he might have a certain type of flavor coming from that East Coast area, more or less East Coast areas, than what I would say here in the Midwest versus what
I'm in
Sutek
the
might.
Midwest.
What'd you say?
I said I'm in the Midwest.
Oh, right. You in Ohio? Why do I want to put you in New York with what's her
Everybody
name?
want to put me in New York. I ain't got no New York accent, none of that. Like I don't want to be in New York. No.
It's the time. It's because the time is the same. That's why.
Right.
But I don't mean no disrespect, bro.
Wow,
I
you
don't
good?
want no
I
smoke.
already know.
But I just feel like we all understand. Like the sister get on here and she can speak, and I have no problems understanding what she's saying. Vasa speak, I have no problems understanding what what I'm saying. So I just feel like the language aspect to all of this, like, first of all, we have to be understanding when somebody say, "Oh, I'm a more of this, more of that." Okay, what does your term mean in your Moorish people's language then? Because I want to play the game with you until I back you up into the corner and just, you know what I'm saying, put you in the blender, and then you're gonna go night night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to know if you are Moor, what Moor are you, and what does
Are you a
Moor
black
mean in your
Moor?
language?
Can I say this though? Can I want to before we do that, everywhere we are, black people are, there are those of us who know we're black, and then there are those of us who we call stoosh. And in Jamaica, there's um, two type, just like how you have here Carlton Banks and the real black people. Like some of you sound this way, and then some of you sound that way. Some of you move like a stick, and then some of you move like a regular one. You understand? So
Yeah.
at home, we have people like in Barbican. It's like a ritzy neighborhood. People act like they're not black. I've actually had a black person, uh, shucks, in-law, tell me that my mother was a native because she's an African. And I was like, but ain't you native? Isn't your hair nappier than mine? Like she was fuming because technically. And so there are some people who feel that, and they will talk. They will not speak with their normal vibration. That's what I'm going to say. If we are relaxed and we're speaking with our normal tongue, right? There are those of you in Mississippi, and I love that vibe, the Southern vibe. Anyway, that you have you sound like a regular black man. And then there are some people in California. No, let me see. Let me pick another place. Okay, I don't know, but there's some places, Utah or something like that, and you wonder what happened to him because he doesn't sound normal, and he's more nasal. And those people can't understand me and you, which is weird. There are some black people who couldn't understand my son when we were coming back, to America. Like they couldn't. They asked what language my 4-year-old was speaking, and he was speaking English. But everybody in the dirty South could understand Omar. You understand? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you would have been able to understand my toddler, and my toddler was looking at those people like, "What are you talking about? I'm black only. Wait, why you can't? I can understand." He was looking at everybody stupid. So there is a vibration I think you're trying to express. There are some of us on a certain wavelength, and we know what it is. And there's some people they brand new. And I'm gonna say this to you, brethren: you can't educate them into being themselves.
Mm.
Those people chose to be brand new. You have stoosh people in Jamaica that don't know they're black, and they want to say they're brown or coolie or some other foolishness. They don't want to. If they don't like they don't have to. You understand? Because that's the weak leg. That's the broken foot. That's the one that can't run as fast. You can't drag him and make him. He's not going to fight. He's going to curl up in a ball. You understand? He's going to have a tantrum. Just like the ones over here. You have some, and you wonder why they're putting on a costume. Now, I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to be real. Just like I have to talk to my teenagers, right? If they're putting on a costume, they're trying to hide something else. Call it what it is. Why you're dressing up, why you're doing all of that show, why you're doing such a demo. If you are normal and you're regular like the rest of us, you understand? Why is such a big Poppy Ross show? What are you covering up? And so that's what we say is the shark in the water. Why are you moving different? Why you're putting this big old distraction? You feel me? What is not really there at the core of you? Police, informer. That's what we call it.
Right,
And then if
informer them.
yes, and you come to check out the York people, all of them are informers.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, I was 19 years old, got to Atlanta, the whole 5% jumped on the Hebrew, let me see, I think it was the York people. Nubian? Yes, it's called the Nubian Nation. And they jumped on them. When I say jumped, I mean physically. I watched them beat these boys, like sissy boys, like they were batty men. You feel me? About to defile me or something. And no, it went down. It went down. And I was like, why are you treating them like they're so dangerous? To me, they actually showed me that whole people, I never got to know what they were about, but they came at the situation like they were pimps trying to hustle a 19-year-old, and they mashed them for my father. You feel me? They wanted to make him proud. They mashed him. So I said, well, there's people with costumes and they're agents. So I just want people to be mindful that in these days, look at the important part of it. Don't look at who's lost and why they lost. Some people are hiding in the muck on purpose. You got a lot of undercovers. I mean, people who have jail issues and they're too scared to fight or tell their brother they're being blackmailed. You feel me? That's going on right now. You've got people infiltrating the Panthers that are not Muslim, that are blackmailing the Muslims. People they're blackmailing gay people to infiltrate the Panthers. They have AIDS. He slept with everybody. Some boy from Morehouse got a Bati man to come out of jail, helped him out, and he laid with all of the Panthers in Oakland. This is a real thing.
What?
I mean, it's only, yeah. Let me just tell you, my father's people held the boy. We got his wallet. Saw that in his wallet, there's some kind of black and white society. That's like some undercover gay black club, elitist black club. So this man who from Morehouse that is the head of security in all over the Bay Area, he blackmailing and it was just a small group of us. You feel me? Because see, let me tell you something. Black Jamaican Mafia, we will kill you. Don't fuck around. So if we snatch you and see that you are pretending to be if you're pretending to be a Rasta, right? You have locks. Why are you on this ganja farm and you've got batty boy shit in your wallet? That's what happened to him. When it comes to the man's life, no, because we have his kids, his daughter, every fucking body. When it comes to the man's life, he tell us the fuck boy from Morehouse is blackmailing him. So let me just tell you, this is the lesson. This is the end of the story lesson, okay? If you see somebody that is a sissy boy and he don't walk like you, do you understand? He don't have a swag like you. He is the short leg and he's handicapped. Don't let him in your club, because if he's the bad mind, is what we call him. The bad mind means I'm not as cool as you, so I'm jealous, I'm a square, so I'm gonna get with the police and inform against you and blackmail your family because I want to be cool. I want to be the head person of the studio. So here we got a fuckboy from Morehouse giving everybody drugs and making this Bati man lay with the women that refused him.
Okay.
The Bati man told us that he will go back to jail if he don't do this. Why are you doing it? You're about to lose your life and your kids. We contacted the whole man's family. So you have to be mindful that some of these people putting on costumes, having friends. And hold on, the boy from Morehouse replaced the Bati man. He's out of the picture now with another Bati man who looks just like him. And my heart goes out. And he's always giving people who need a visa, need to get out of jail, got gun charges. The man's nephew got 15 years. His young nephew got 15 years. And here the man from Morehouse, I will help make your family a deal. And all of us know about this man. Both sides of Panthers, the new ones, the new riders, and the OGs that he had beat up. Do you know? We have an elder, 70 years old. They broke his arm, his neck. This man from Morehouse give people drugs to beat up one of our elders in the Panthers. When we get to the bottom of it, because I'm going to tell you something, voodoo is real, ancestors are real, and we will come for you. So we have had a real cipher in the Bay Area, and only the real ones are part of the cipher. Everybody's got to hand out for drugs. Everybody that's an undercover Bati man, this man from Morehouse's friends. You can't be, I'm just going to say, I know people have opinions and they want to be friends with Bati boys and everything, but I don't come from a family with that. And if you are going to be hanging with people who are traitors to their own family and their own community, then who are you really? How are you down with us? How are you down with Panthers? How are you down? I mean, really? Are you beating on women? You beat your own wife to death? Like, are you serious? Like, I'm just saying. So we got a situation right now in California to where we used to have real ones, and the real ones have been blackmailed. No, this is the real thing. Not everybody just didn't die out. They're being blackmailed. And the real ones are afraid because this boy from my house is like, I got the feds on my team. And he has threatened people with law enforcement, put them in jail. People I know personally, put them away to where we had to stir in the pots and dig them out. So we know who they are. Our ancestors will always know a traitor. That's why in Jamaica, in Africa, we keep our hearts clean. You know why? Because if it shows, if somebody throws the cards on you, throws the cowrie shells on you, and it shows you are a traitor, you can't hide from that. And your whole family could die, because in Jamaica, they will wipe out your whole family. So right now, this fuckboy from our house, I can only spare his daughter. And everybody has been put on notice. And everybody knows what it is. And he still with fucking Babylon. But he looks noticeably gay now. I've known this fuckboy for 20 years. Came back 10 years after having babies and marriage and all these things. Why is he walking like that? Why is he walking like that? That was the only thing I had to say, and everybody giggled. It's not funny, because why have you allowed him to beat on women? A natural man is going to harm women and children. So I'm kind of upset as Big Mama to come back and find out that my brethren, because of studio time and free weed, allowed him to beat his wife to death. She's in the grave now. And blackmail other women. He blackmailed my sister to say she don't have no choice but to be his personal wife, because he's a fag. And see, when you come from real blood, you understand? When you love your father, when you come from real men, you can't sell out, because where I come from, everybody will know that you did it. So blackmail does not apply to us. This is what I want to impart to the brother. Real ones of us, like you have real ones here in America. I know some real ones, just like us. And blackmail can't apply, because somebody can feel it. It will change your current. And that's what I wanted to say. The most important thing about us is current. We do feel it in the music, but also feel it in the way we move. But don't let no sister boy blackmail you. Don't let them propaganda you. Don't let them tell you, hey, so-and-so is an agent. Well, what's it to you? Why are you trying to push something? Go to your ancestors. Comb everything clean, because we have a lot of flies in the muck. And anybody that has got the spotlight on them and they're the star of the show, how did they get there? Why are they the star? If we are all Mohicans together on the same level playing field, why do you have to be on the stage? Which government, Bate boy, put you there? So I'm just saying, we have some characters in costume. And I love how you are using restraint on not to put down anybody. But we need to be very careful of who we're representing. Represent Black first, Africa first. And if you have some shenanigans and you have to put on a costume because you want to be cool with people and you want to be accepted, put that second, brethren, because right now they're murking us and our lives are at stake. And check your brothers. If you're a real Black man, you're solid, you're not a batty man punk, then check the brothers next to you if they are doing something unnatural, not moving like a real man. Seen?
Sin, sister.
We have agents among us. That's all I'm saying. Keep the shit 100.
Definitely do. I want to see what y'all. Me and T'Challa, we watched this video. He gave me his thoughts on it. I gave him my thoughts on it, but I want to see what y'all thoughts on this. So I'm gonna play it.
Oh man.
Oh, Vlad.
All right, here we have New Kazoos on Vlad TV. And definitely one of our more interesting guests that we've had over the years. And before we get into your whole story, you're essentially a Caucasian man who at one point started to inject himself with a chemical that put melanin in your skin that would make you dark when you start going out in the sun.
Yes and no. It's not technically melanin. People always think it's melanin, but it's just a peptide that is basically steroids. When it doesn't do anything unless I go into the sun. So the same thing as steroids helps people get muscle faster. The injections help me to get darker faster whenever I get in the sun. It's just tanning, with ultra speed.
Got it. And we'll get into that whole part of the story, but I kind of want to go into your background first. So where exactly did you grow up?
Basically 2 different places. I was born up in New York. I lived there till I was about 10, and then I moved down south in small town areas in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. And what nationality are your parents?
Technically, I consider them human, but I guess you could say other people would consider them Caucasian or some Italian, Sicilian.
Okay. And you have a sister as well?
Yes.
Okay. So you're growing up sort of all over the place. You went to the Art Institute for a year?
I went there for a couple years, I think. I went to multiple colleges.
Okay, and you didn't graduate though?
No, it wasn't really my path in life that I wanted to take. I tried it out, and it wasn't for me.
Okay. Now, we'll go ahead and show a picture of what you look like originally. Extremely, pale skin and a Caucasian man. And up until the point where you started injecting yourself, were you into Black culture, had a lot of Black friends, into hip hop, or what was the attraction initially?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been around Black people my whole entire life. My first friends, like ever, when my parents first sent me to daycare, there's a Black guy there. There's a Black guy there. He became my best friend, and my parents were friends with their friend or his friends, and it's just like it seems like I bounce around different schools, and it's like every school that I went to, I always gravitated to the Black people for some reason, and it's just I just connected more. I don't know, and then I moved down to the South, and then I thought everybody was human. Saying I didn't really realize that there was a difference between white and Black, but only through hindsight did I realize that I gravitated to Black people. But when I moved to the South, I learned from the people around me that hey, you're not human. You're either white or you're Black. So that kind of started the whole thing, and then I don't know. We'll get into that later. But to answer your question, I've always felt a little different, and I always felt like I wanted to have darker skin. My whole family has darker skin than me. And my sister used to tease me and say I wasn't part of the family, say I was adopted because I was so light-skinned. And I just wanted to be like all my friends and stuff like that. So in middle school, I started thinking about doing plastic surgery to become, see if I can do the opposite of Michael Jackson. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to be me. As I progressed into adulthood, I started trying to find other ways to darken my skin, but it never seemed to happen. But then I found the tanning injections, and I wanted to try it, and I tried it, and I like it, and I finally have dark skin, which I've always wanted.
So what y'all think about that, man?
Wow.
I think he I saw some pork rinds and then shakes the bag before
Anybody
you walk.
How easy it is to just change your
Any
race.
comment on this?
Are you trying to say that people
Caucasian
who are like
injecting
Hebrews
himself with
are just as bad as
shit? I don't even know
this?
what the hell he injecting himself with, but
Is that as? Are you trying to say that the people who dress up like other cultures is just as bad as this buffoon? Like if you try to be an Arab or a Hebrew, it's just as bad as this white guy?
I think so.
That's cold as ice.
He going the extra mile. Yeah, he going the extra mile. He turning his skin a whole different color. I mean, he obviously still looks like a white dude to me, but I don't know.
I came in on the last part. I don't really think
Nobody got no
Can you hear me?
no thought on it.
I think that's how white people might see us if we straighten our hair. I think that's how they look at us.
Can you
That's
hear me,
how.
Sutat? Sutat. Hello.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know.
Hey, y'all can't hear Sister Mika and Vasa? I hear them.
I hear them.
Nah, I don't hear them. They might have to hop off and hop back on.
I could hear them.
Man, do I need melanin shots?
Okay, now I hear you. Now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
hear
now
you.
I hear you.
I thought I was bugging out. What's up? Hi, everybody, panelists, chat.
Greetings,
Sutat.
bless, bless.
Yeah, that's crazy. How easy it is to change your race.
Oh shit! Ain't changes.
No, it's not easy. He look crazy. He look like a clown. And is that how black people? Is that how black people look? No. Remember how black people? Everybody, black men were perming their hair. Is that how Snoop Dogg was looking to white people when he permed his hair?
Ah.
Yeah, and to springboard off of that sentiment, I don't think it's fair to the entire quote unquote black community of the world stage to make black synonymous with hood and the ghettos culture. Putting braids in your hair and baggy clothes don't make you black.
Not at all.
Talking a certain way with ignorance and defiance doesn't make you black. Putting a basketball in your hand or drugs in your pocket don't make you black. It more so just makes you an American citizen. It doesn't make you what we are. So I don't think that's fair for them to be able to do that either.
Yeah, they tried to do a like a little Kim type caricature. I don't know what you call that when you profile somebody like in a certain way. So they were trying to say that black people have to look like this is what they're going to do on Hollywood to everyone. But that is true. But I wanted to but Snoop when he perms his hair and makes it straight, I'm wondering how, white people look at our brothers and sisters when we try to make our hair like theirs. Like that's how I always felt like a big dummy. Like I refused to cream or straighten my hair because that would make me look like an ass. I mean, look like a clown.
Right.
Well, I mean, just think about it. He put braids and the baggy clothes on and made it to DJ Vlad, which is, can put a couple of 15 seconds of fame to your name. If your children put on the same clothes and had the same hairstyle, they might get suspended from school or fired from their jobs. Do you understand what I'm saying by this? So for him to say my parents was raised by black people and I grew up around black people and I identified with them, why didn't you identify with making yourself look like Barack
like
Obama?
this?
Why didn't you identify with looking like a Nelson Mandela? You decided to look like my little cousins. So you're not even looking like a black man, you're looking like a black boy.
Like a crisscross caricature.
Yeah.
Looking like a goddamn fool.
Yeah, real people can't. Real black people can't dress like that because we'll be in jail. We have to actually have jobs and or feed our families and do things in life. We don't get to stay home off of some parents' money.
I will say this: all my street brothers would have been like, "He driving? Hey, bro, you driving?" They get it. Tyler got it.
Yeah.
He's still white at the end of the day.
I'm telling you, police come and no, officer, my name is Chris, and I don't know these guys. Yeah, in a heartbeat. I am just trying to get home. I don't even know what's going on, dude.
Yeah, man, he did all that just to look like a dark skinned white man.
Who?
Oh, you ain't see it?
No, I just got back. What, you play something?
They had some wood with some braids on the TV trying to say that he identifies with the black people who raised him, so he's gonna look like a buffoon.
Oh, you talking about okay, yeah, I know you talking because you put it in the chat the other day.
Yeah. The dude who darkened his skin up, white boy.
Yeah.
He looked like a Sicilian. That's how the Italians look with the real burn.
Exactly.
After the Moors got on them. We give y'all that, Moors. Oh man.
They part Moorish.
Isn't the whole I'm asking a question now because I actually don't know. Um, isn't the Moorish Science Temple just a lodge and it's more of an association for society perks with Babylon, and it's not really a identity. So they're claiming something like a Prince Hall type thing, like a Masonic thing.
Kind of. It's like
That's kind of what it sounds like. Shit, like
it kind of is.
It's definitely some abracadabra going on up in there. I'm gonna tell you that
Stop
right
it.
now.
Yeah,
Stop it.
mystical
Stop it.
organization. Exactly.
You know, hocus pocus.
Abracadabra, B.
What?
Abracadabra. I want to talk to Samson.
Who said abracadabra? I forgot about that word.
Come on, Sis Mika, where you at? I know you done seen this. I know you seen this foolishness.
Yeah,
Mika got her.
yeah.
There she is.
No, it's just crazy. I don't
She
see.
had a question to ask. Go ahead. Ask her.
Oh, okay. Because Sutek don't get me started. Yeah, I was asking Sutek a question because I was in this group and we was talking. It's about African culture. So we was like, somebody was like breaking it down, and they said, well, African did not leave any writing. So when I say African, I'm talking about the tribe that's on the continent of Africa. They said they didn't leave any writing, so we don't have any history. Only, I think they said something about they had oral history, but not, it wasn't never written down. So I just
Yes, it
was
was.
asking Sutek, was that true? Did anybody on that continent write anything, any history down?
Of course. It's always been written.
It depends on how you're going to define it. Because if I gave you a picture of my grandparents that I drew and I tell you a story behind it orally, does that picture count as part of the story, Mika?
That's a good question.
So we may have taught differently. And you get where I'm going? So to say that they didn't, you can't really do that. And we, just to keep it simple, where did writing start?
Some say in Egypt. So
Where's that at, sweetie?
that's over there close to the north. What is it?
Is
East.
it closer to
But
Alaska
what?
or is it closer
But
to
is it
Africa?
on the? Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
What,
Egypt is where?
what continent?
Egypt is
Oh,
where?
it's on Africa. That's what you asking me, on
Okay,
the
okay.
continent?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
them black people migrated from all over the continent and developed their first world's writing system. It predates anything
Mm-hmm.
that they want to talk about in Sumer. You know what I'm saying? So when they say, "Oh, Africans didn't leave behind anything written down," well, where did writing come from?
Right. But the thing we was talking about while we came to that was that us in America, if we was to trace back our history, did our West African leave anything written down, or is it people going over there observing and writing down our history? So I don't know if you understand.
Personally, Mika, I think we suffered from when it comes to that illiterate word.
All right.
Mika from New
I
York.
think
You from
I
New
think
York, Mika?
I think we didn't. I think we not looking at what Euros were trying to say at certain points. I think when they was calling us illiterate, they
Mm-hmm.
meant it in the sense of we don't even have a language, let alone a written script.
Right.
So to dehumanize us, they would say they're illiterate people. They don't even have a language, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't understand it. They didn't want to understand it. Their mind was get in, get what we can, and get gone.
Now, who you
So,
talking about, Vasa? The Europeans?
and
Okay, yeah.
I think we do suffer from that in our education of finding ourselves. Even when they define us as an illiterate people, I don't think we go in deeper enough to look at the racial implications of what they're saying at certain points. It's bad enough that you're saying we don't have a written script and we can't identify with this method of communication. But I
Mm-hmm.
think they was trying to dehumanize us and make us such a jungle creature that they were saying that we don't even have a language to communicate with each other with.
Mm-hmm.
And that hurts us psychologically. So when we have these discussions and we've been beat down so far,
it's hard to see yourself that you was really the top of the pile.
Shit, it ain't hard. Depends on your mindset. If you got a strong will, because that's actually why I had started, researching this shit. Because I'm like, why is we at the bottom? Like,
Right.
it's kind of like the Chancellor Williams book we read. Like those 7 questions that he posed is the same 7 questions I had prior to getting the book. So it's like it's a common universal thing amongst us, captured Americans over here, Africans over here. So
according to your knowledge, West African, those people on that side of the continent, they did not have any written written language, or written, they didn't write down their history. It was like oral and dances and stuff like that.
I would say definitely largely in West Africa, because I can't speak for all of West Africa.
Mhm.
I'm gonna answer your question from the Malian Empire era. So we talking around the year quote unquote 1000. Right, so about 1,000 years ago. From that point going back, like, the griots, yes, have a largely, well, first of all, before I say that, let's get back to the psychological conversation of the value of quote unquote etching something down, and that being like this permanent monolithic law where it doesn't update and change, because that's where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So no, in West Africa, you're not going to largely find, like in Kemet, where you can find papyri after papyri after papyri, right? And you can find artifact after artifact after artifact, and monuments risen and things like that. No, you won't find that necessarily in West Africa to that degree like that. At least not now. And if it did exist, and the griots ain't telling us because we outsiders, that's one conversation. I'm just saying that, for those that want to give it the wiggle room. But in West Africa, it was about your drum, what village you going to for what naming ceremony, us all being there. Like, what's more important, me writing about what happened here, or us coming together for me to actually have something to write about or to talk about?
Well, do you think that hinder us in America, whoever want to learn their history?
Not necessarily, because from my standpoint, again, you're talking about the value of learning from an African perspective. Even though we're here in America, we still have this certain, like, even those of us that are very literate, like we're all obviously intelligent people on the panel, and we all say things very different. Like, sister, you got a great thick accent. I have an accent from where I'm from. Everybody's got their accent, but everybody, the intellect and the lack of knowledge there's no lack of knowledge here. You see what I'm saying? In terms of intellect, like that, like we're not remedial. So I'm saying that from learning drums. I play drums. I've been playing these drums for the last 12 years. And I've learned more about African people through our music, our dance, our songs, and our griot history than I have actually sitting and reading books about African people.
It's a living culture.
that, and basically what you're saying, T'Challa, is you get more out of the field research than you do studying inside the damn library, which ain't nothing wrong with that. That's how we got primary evidence today. You got to do field research. A lot of people, you can't read stuff and get the gist of it. You got to immerse yourself in the culture of the people if you want to really get a grasp of what's going on. Some people, they can read all the books they want and they can remember it and they can have the knowledge. Some people, they got to get out there in the field and they got to get their hands dirty and their hands wet. So I feel what you're saying, T'Challa.
Yeah,
Man,
man.
I want to.
We need.
Bull, that any? That got to be any.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead
Lord
and
of
answer.
mercy.
Let me answer the question, because I was going to put it in Facebook, but I don't want her screenshotting and sharing it to the world that I replied to her.
Who?
So you want to crack jokes? I'm gonna throw a little shade. Now, all right. So the thing about us in Africa in America is that our direct lineage goes to Central and West Africa. The question was asked, did we have writing?
we had we had no necessary need for writing at the time because of griots. Griots are storytellers. Storytelling is handed down, but also the elders, the teachings of the elders and the ancestors in the community was legitimized. You didn't have this sense of someone lying on you or misinforming or misleading you when it comes to information. Now, the reason why stuff was so oral and you could live in the manner that they lived in West Africa is because the simple fact that there was more trust. There wasn't disingenuous going on. So your word was worth more,
Your
right?
bond.
Yeah, the integrity of your speech meant that's why you have the words. If you look back in ancient times, you have good speech. You know what I'm saying? If you look to and not to go over West Africa, but if you look to Kemet, right? When you look to Kemet, what is the word for good speech? You see what I'm saying? So they looked at this thing from a perspective of how society ran. Now, this is the difference between now and then. Is the natural world did not look for us, did not look anything like it does for them. So when we set forth to go out and answer a question, did they have a writing system? A writing system wasn't necessarily needed for them in order to advance knowledge in their understanding of the natural world. It made no sense. So orally, they got their points out. Orally, they transcribed a lot of information. Orally, they taught and teached. Now, the thing about oral tradition is how can you disseminate fact from fiction using oral tradition? This is before the coming of Islam and them, giving, helping develop writing systems and all of that bullcrap. So, um, how do you do all of that? Well, you got to use other tools in order to actually answer those questions. What are the other tools, Sean? The other tools would be archaeology, right? You got to use that. You got to use other scientific methods in order to corroborate the oral tradition. Now, when you put people in a specific location, when you tell a story about a particular war, when you talk about different the coming of the white man and this, that, and the third and all that old craziness, you giving people time, place, location orally. Now, how can we go back and verify that? You have a griot standing there telling you about the coming of the white man. Somebody that stole one of my books, by the way. But you have a griot sitting there telling the story about the coming of the white man. Says the white man came on something that glided across the water that looked like a bird. They didn't know what ships were. So they said it looked like a bird flying on water. Now this is coming out of someone's oral tradition. But this is also written into history that they had no earthly idea of what that looked like. So we have to look at this thing and then we have to break down what we're talking about. So when you're talking about the people that you like to talk about,
Oh
that's
Lord.
really one of your points.
No. No, don't even go there.
You don't want me to go there?
I'm talking about people in generally
You
in
know, okay,
Africa. Cause
right.
you
But
going
all
left
right,
and
okay.
you're
So I'm
not
gonna
gonna
go
go there.
further back. I'm gonna go further than West Africa before Kemet developed one of the first writing system. You had rock art. You have that all over the continent. So they were writing. They just wasn't writing out like
A
you don't
writing
have this
system.
transcript, a writing system. You have rock art. You have rock painting. What are they doing with rock art and rock painting? They are explaining the natural world through art.
And
So
You got those Gambia stones in West Africa too.
yes, exactly.
Oh
So you
yeah.
see, evidence of writing, but it's just not a writing system. It wasn't a full-fledged writing system. So when someone says, well, they only did oral things. Well, yeah, they also drew. They also created things. You know, like they designed all of these things through art. They expressed themselves. So you go and you look at that, you basically can corroborate what I'm saying. If you're using archaeology along with oral traditions and you're putting all these things up. Now later on down the line, people word was no longer their bond because they was pitting one against the other and things was moving way too fast for West Africans to slow things down and come together on. You had tribal warfare, you had people putting one against the other, you had so much manipulation that took place that these people couldn't get an actual true hold of themselves. But stay tuned because maybe in the next month or two, I don't know. I got about 2,060 pages of reading that I gotta get done. That's about 8 books. And I might answer some of them questions. I may not, but I am going to elaborate a little bit more on the I might go with this Arab slave trade. I might get into that. I might get into another realm. I don't know. I might have writing material for something else. Who knows what these 8 books, because they on their way. Brain.
Another thing, and this is to separate the race, this is just looking at human history. You'd have to look at what modes of production these people have and were they able to produce systems that would allow them to become a highly literate culture. For example, in Northern Africa, where you got the sesh writing on papyrus, that was easy for them to produce those papyrus. By let's say the year 1000, in Europe, when they starting to break into becoming literate, they're writing on parchments written on animal hides. That's harder to produce. So they may not have as much writing material in this region. Then you find your way in China and you find out they writing on rice paper. And they have an abundance of that, so much so that they can do things that other people weren't thinking, and that's create early forms of typewriting.
Let me stop you right there, Vasa, because you said something so pivotal into what I'm working on. The thing that you said, the papyrus from Egypt, that is a form of agriculture. That's why they had so much of it. Even in China, that rice, that was their main staple. You know what I'm saying? But the Europeans, they really didn't have the main staple like that. They may have had like some wheats, some grains, but like that's why they were so savage, man.
Very, very true.
And particularly in West Africa, they're concerned with not necessarily producing paper, I'm going to say from the year 1000 up until, going back, like when the Numu blacksmiths, because that blacksmith thing, you have to talk about blacksmiths with Africa. If you ain't talking about blacksmiths, I don't know what you're doing. So the specific blacksmiths in that area, like where we really come out of, like the Port of No Return, that area that's real significance to us black people in the Western hemispheres, the Numu was concerned with honoring the ancestors and bringing forth a way to continue to, because we in the field, talk about agriculture, we in the field tilling the land. So they chopping at the tree after they done did the divination so that they can create some type of vessel that will mimic the songs that the women are singing and clapping and stomping their feet to. You black women are so beautiful. You go around singing around the house while you making dinner. Come in there with the season. What seasoning you want? Well, I'm going to throw some of this on there. And keep on moving. You singing and clapping all while you cooking dinner. And we sit down to eat. And guess what? That meal is the best meal we ever had in our entire life. Every time you get in the kitchen, because you've been unsung and danced, even if you ain't put on no music, you in there singing and clapping with your sister and getting it done.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? All the while, you got one of us in the oven, baking, ready to come out in another couple of months. Like, come on, man.
That's current.
Yeah.
Vibration. Power. Word, sound, power.
I'm talking about a paper, something writing down on a paper. That wasn't a concern. And it's not like, so we have different modes of what's important depending on the time periods. So
you said it wasn't important?
No, writing things down. No, it wasn't, because that's not the mind of the culture of the people.
Mm-hmm.
at that time in that area. They're not concerned with necessarily writing things down because that's not their mode of communicating ideas.
Well, let's say right there, T'Challa, with the in the kitchen. Let's say grandma got a pot, and that pot has symbols on it, and that those symbols tell your entire life or family's lifeline. You get where I'm going? But we don't
Right.
know what those symbols are, so we can't put the story together. But is that not a form of written communication? Right there in the pot and living culture. So when who are you talking to? Is it pronounced Kisu? So when
Yes.
Kisu inherits that pot, she knows the story to tell her daughter, and now her daughter is going to learn the story one day. And knowing what those symbols are, and those symbols never change, guess what happens? You got a staple in the community. You got a way to hold on, y'all
It's a
got my
flex.
yeah.
It's a flex. It's how you move. It's a thing.
Okay. My baby just came and said she lost her tooth. My bad, y'all.
Ooh, money.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
no money.
The tooth fairy.
I'm
Yeah,
about to
won't
be
believe in that.
European tonight. I'm about to go in there and get some stolen goods. About to come up. I discovered this. I discovered this dollar under this here pillow.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it. We need to. We didn't have no need for writing in West Africa. That's why it's a living culture. Meaning,
What time period is y'all talking about though?
I specified from the year 1000 and going back even 1,000 years to the quote unquote year zero.
Hey, let me
Let's
sum this up real quick.
Let me ask Mika this question because she asked y'all all the questions. What
Right,
what
and that's all she good for.
no, I ain't coming reckless. I'm just saying.
Nah,
Ask the question.
this the after show. This the after show. I'm at her neck.
It's racking over here. All right, ask the question again, Mika.
What? Say that again.
I say ask the question again.
The same question y'all just finished answering.
The same question.
Yeah. I
I
didn't
said,
answer it. I didn't answer it.
"Oh, you didn't answer it. Okay.
Nah.
Did Africans, the people on the continent, the tribal, did they have written language? Did they write
Okay.
the history down?
Yeah, that's a simple yes. Based
You
off that simple that simple question. Now what I would ask you is what time period of Africans, because it's a bunch
okay?
of
Yeah, like he just said, go back, 1,000 or further back, because yeah, back like that far.
Yeah.
I mean we could go 1,000 back. Are you talking about West Africa, right?
I'm talking about that side, yeah, West
Because
Africa
if you saying
down.
Africa, all you gotta do is say Kemet and then that ends the conversation.
Yeah, no, because it was different cultures and tribes. So I know some cultures had writing.
You missed what he was saying though, Mika.
What he said. What he said.
He said if you're asking about the whole of Africa, he can just say Kemet and the
Oh yeah, he could
conversation's
just say
over.
one. That's
Yeah, that
fine.
ends the question.
So you
That's
have
why
to
I
be
was
more
like,
specific.
that's why
But she did get specific because she asked us. She said we coming from West Africa, our direct lineage, where we can trace, and
Right.
that's why I started to talk about the Mandinka culture because the tale is in the drum and in the song and dance in terms of what
Hmm.
we had and what was important. Like you said, Sean, like it's about the griot culture. So we talking about just like I'm gonna say this, sis. Like if I was to say, okay, do black women in Americas do, and you can fill in the blank. Whatever you fill in the blank with, and me and Satep had asked this question before. He asked this question that's alluding to what I'm about to say. You cannot scientifically just outright without researching say 100% all the time anything or 100% never anything if you haven't done the research. And that's not towards you specifically. That's just general. Like, I can't just sit up here and say all black women in America do A, B, and C. I can't say that because I don't know what every single black woman here does. Right. So when they say black people didn't have and Africans don't have and we didn't have, half those people can't tell you 5 African foods. 5 African garb, 5 African weapons, 5 African drums, rhythms, etc. And they want to talk to you about, well, they want to demean us with, oh, we didn't have writing, as if writing is what defines African people. It's an invention. So that's what I'm saying. It was more important to us to have the camaraderie and the coming
Hey
together to till
man,
that land.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
we
trying
had
to
the
tell
real
you where this
thing.
come from. I'm telling you where this come from, and not I'm not saying you, Mika. This come from Arabs and Europeans
Hmm.
understanding of what is supposed to be what.
Right.
Because
Their
writing was a
opinion.
technology. Writing was a technology, right? So they felt like bringing a writing system into West Africa that Arabs brought that in. Not writing in general, just writing a writing system. Because there was no one writing system, right? You had different tribes. They spoke differently. They interpreted things differently. They looked at the natural world differently. But then there's so many similarities within these tribes when it comes to culture and traditions, right? So that's that's what they say they want to bring in. But like to answer your question, in the form of writing, like a writing system, you don't have it. What you have is you have the oral tradition, which holds more weight to the African, and that's why they don't live by or adhere to the standards of scholarship of Europeans and Arabs per se.
There's Chinese scholars that study their dialect that's now doing a cross comparison to the Sesh, as far as how it's written and the structure of it. So what Sean is saying is very, very true because you do see them come and try to define the world. That was one of the things I wanted to throw out so many times. You guys have to define what these modes of technology and what these modes of production are going to mean for you and by you. You have to. Because if you keep letting this pale man do it, y'all see the results of it. And he'll use you. He'll be right there on Vlad with your culture, your words, and
Hello.
your success from it.
Ain't they writing our history? So that's another thing, because now we going by what other people are writing, other people opinion. So now we got to decipher what's real and what's not.
But see, that's where the see me, I'm so entrenched and ensconced in West African culture to the point where when you try, like, if you was to go, what you just said is very true. Nowadays it is all about what's being written, because we got the school systems, right? This is what's written down as law, and we have to abide by that. Like, if the police say get out the car, I have to get out the car by law, otherwise he can legally shoot me, right? um we have to understand that deciphering what's real and what's fake being written down, if you not really knowing, Jack from Eve, as they say, that's where being entrenched in the culture already allows you to be able to say, like, if you was to show me a book, if somebody wrote something about djembe culture anywhere in West Africa, and they said the djembe drum has 6 basic sounds, do you know what I'm going to say to that automatically?
Bullshit.
Exactly, because djembe does not have 6 basic sounds.
Get it right, to take no more bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's based on 8 or 16.
You know what I'm saying? Like the base. No, what I'm saying specifically with djembe, it has 3 basic notes. You got bass, tone, and slap, and from there you're gonna produce different pitches of sounds and this, that, and the other. But you got 3 basic voices on that drum. So when I read something, if I read an article that said that djembe had, 7 basic sounds, I'm gonna say you a lie. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't say that, because I already do it. I'm
Hmm.
living it already.
So should we be counting like the Dinkra symbols as a writing system?
That
Should like
is.
the NCB system as a writing system?
It is. They're each stories in themselves. They're pictograms. They're pictographs. They're glyphs. So like Binkabi is the alligators in a circle. One going at each other's tail. Don't snitch on each other. Don't backbite. It's a term that most Jamaicans know because it's powerful. Like our first one is out of many one, which is solidarity, and the next one is don't be a traitor because you will die. Live good or die. You live good. It means don't no binka be.
Right, because I'm looking at Wiki, Right Systems of Africa, and they definitely got it down. You got Instabidi, you got the Dinka, you got Lushona. I ain't never heard of this one. Eastern Angola, Northwest Zambia, adjacent to the Democratic Republic of Congo. I ain't even heard of that one.
And Angola ain't even the name of that country. It's in Dongo.
Right.
Like, yeah, like the word oral everything is definitely a certain priority in Africa because the word sound power concept, word is bond, as we say here, right? Well, hey, word, son, like all that. Yeah.
Date from 400 to 1400 CE. That's easy. Let me see. It don't show how far back the Dinka symbols go.
Matter of fact, that's the first when I was carrying my first child. I made sure that my daily meditation before I spoke was the Andinka symbols. And I learned that he was receptive. Omari was receptive to everything from my morning, workout to the Andinka symbols, these principles. They went from me to his brain.
Can I give y'all something? I hope people caught in volume 1. And Sean brought it up. If you go back to South Africa, where you see the origins of people doing symbolic thought, you see those cows. In all these places we've mentioned today, you're going to see cows being traded, migrational patterns, and you're going to see us following them. Don't they say that letter A comes from the cow's head or the head of an ox? You flip it upside down, eventually it becomes the A. So who really started this symbology? Who started these map makings and saying, hey, this is where the cows are. If you look over here past these trees, you might find zebra. If you look over here, that's where the lions are going to be. Don't go there. Once we can decode the culture itself, we can see what they was trying to tell us. But we so wrapped up in trying to figure out what the Europeans are saying, thinking that's the top of the mountain, we are losing the ability to tell and create our own stories. And we got to do it. Yeah, what you're showing right now, Sutek, I think when I was doing my studies here of what was going on in South America, I think these same people that you're showing right now are the same groups of Christians and all those others that was doing the same thing and created the Codex Paris down here in the South Americas with the indigenous people of this land. If you did a cross comparison, the artwork's going to look the same and the scripts are going to look the same. I guarantee it. And look at the time frame. That would have been the same time that Spain and Portugal is pushing into South America, getting them to create a written script so they can figure out where they're going and what they're doing. And they don't want to tell our story. They just want to tell what they needed to know to come here and get what they needed to get. Same thing in Africa.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Hey, I want to ask y'all something, and this is kind of on the topic, but this is on the terms of like, we talk about what we're calling things and labeling things, taxonomy, right? So my question is, what is more detrimental or of more importance? Is it the presentation right? The presentation of something existing, something being what it is, and you know what I'm saying, is there. Or is a representation more important, or should that be considered fought over, bloodshed over, versus the actual thing itself? So I'm gonna give you an example. If you sit up here and I have the floor, and then you mute my mic, you kick me out the hangout, I come back in, I start talking, you start talking over me. We meet up in person. You do the same thing, might even step on my shoe on the way into the venue. And so you're acting a certain way. That character that you're being, I'm describing something, right? I haven't given it a name. You could fill in the blank because I got a whole lot of names for that kind of person. Um, Particularly after I'm looking over their body, like you're gonna learn today. But I want to know, if I actually call you out on what you being, if I turn around and say, hey, so and so, such and such thing, stop what you're doing. Is it more disrespectful what I called you, or more disrespectful what you're doing?
The action always takes precedence over the what. The verb has more weight than the noun. The noun has no effect. The verb is the effect. The action. What you doing?
Because I could say I love you all day long, sis, but don't show no type of signs that I do, right?
Right. If it have no gravity, it's nothing. It's zero. Its value is zero if it's a word. But the action of love, even if you say I don't love you, but you're constantly, having my back, saving me from Babylon, defending me against, crazy, violent people. You feel me? If your movements are the love, that's the weight, even if the word is not there.
As they say, actions speak louder than words. So that's what I'm around with.
That's a
all
fact.
my favorite words start with a capital P.
Stop.
There you go.
Behave.
Sugar free.
Shucks. Put him in a corner.
Okay, I got another question before I go to work because I gotta leave in a few. Me and Sutek had this conversation. Is about
All you do is ask questions. That's
okay.
Hold on,
all
Tosh. You
you
gotta
know
go to
what?
work.
Okay, we had a
Nah, I don't
discussion
care if she
about
got to
color.
go to work.
Listen, listen. We had a discussion about color. Color. I want to
Mika,
speak
when
on
we gonna
color
be able to ask you questions?
next year.
Yeah,
Let me ask
exactly.
my question now.
Are you a Hebrew Israelite?
No.
You a lie.
Oh, okay. Then you tell me what I am.
You a closet Israelite.
No,
You
I
a
can't be an
convert.
Israelite. How
You a
can I be an
convert.
Israelite?
You a
How?
convert. You a
No,
convert.
I'm not a
One
convert.
day you a Hebrew. The next day you a Christian. The next day you ain't.
I never was a
You an
Christian.
atheist.
It's a
No,
million.
look,
She a
he just
chameleon.
starting.
Whatever audience she into, bro. Whatever the
No,
audience is, she swaying.
okay, no, that's not true at all.
Shots fired.
That's how he feels. That's how he feels. But make me forget what I want to say. He did that on purpose. Oh yeah, about this color thing. You was talking about the Moors, right? You said the Moor wasn't black, right?
No, I
Hello?
said they were black more.
Yeah, you said that, right? So I wanted to know, what are you defining as being black? I mean, what are you calling? Okay, we had the discussion before, and every time when somebody say somebody is not black, that's like iffy, because are we going by skin color? I mean,
No,
are you looking at how dark they are?
what I'm going off of when I say black, I mean those of sub-Saharan African descent.
And you saying the Moors wasn't sub-Saharan African? That's what you're saying?
And some of them was, but those Moors that were of sub-Saharan African descent, they were slaves, and most of the Moors were Berbers and Arabs.
Don't the Moors themselves say they Asiatic?
Yeah,
Well, what are we calling Asiatic? Like, what do show me something? What you calling Asiatic? Because
know
that
what,
could be
AJ?
that could look in different. Asiatic could look different. You know, like
No, it can't.
yes, it could. They could look like anybody. I mean, you show me
I'm gonna
something
break
what
it
you
down.
calling
I'm gonna break it
Asiatic.
down. I'm gonna break it down.
Yeah.
What's the word Asiatic? What's that mean? That just means you from Asia, right? What's the word Asia mean? The word Asia mean you from the West. Where's the West at? Where the sun arise?
Yeah. I don't think that's the reason. I don't know. No.
That's my interpretation
Oh,
of it.
okay.
So if they
Because
say Asiatic, they west of Africa. Or no, east, sorry.
Well, yeah, and Asiatics can't look like anybody because they have to have a certain phenotype. They have to be classified as Asiatic. So they wouldn't look like anybody. They would just look like a certain group of people.
And what's that group of people?
I don't think it's based off phenotypes. I think it's based off where you from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you could look at somebody and be like, they Asiatic. If you a Moor, if you consider yourself a Moor, I don't think you could look at them and say, or you could just be like, oh yeah, he Asiatic. Like you just,
or I mean, like Khoisan. You know what I'm talking about, Satep? Like Khoisan feature versus versus like first cataract feature.
I'm gonna go to etymology.com and see what the word Asia means. My damn computer let me.
She always asking questions, bro. All she want to do is question everybody.
That's right. I'm gonna question
Won't you
you
get
next.
a book and start reading?
Oh, I read, but
no, you don't.
You know
what you read?
You know what the
what
thing
you
about
read?
listen,
What you read? What you read? You on YouTube all day? What you read?
Sure.
What you read?
Listen, I read all
What
kinds
you?
of books.
Nah, don't give me none of that. Don't know, Mika.
Spears of the Mossy is fire.
Now, have you read Spears of the Mossy?
Sure.
There you go. She ain't got neither one of them, yo.
Listen, listen. Damn, he just made me forget.
Come on the panel and want to talk to us, but I ain't got the book. You don't get on up out of here.
Okay,
Go to work.
Sutek, when you read something, right? Don't you want other people' opinion or other people, what they thoughts on that subject on it too?
It's called cross-referencing. You cross-reference.
So I do that. I do that too. And that's what I do. Cause I could read stuff and I
How can you cross-reference something you ain't read?
How you figure that? There you go, starting trouble. How you figure that? You here reading books with me?
You ain't reading no books.
Are you
on Garfield? You on Garfield? You on Garfield show? How you reading books? You on Garfield? You on Zion Lex? You on Divine Prospect? You on Sinetta? You over here? Funny. You over there?
Yeah.
How when you read?
Listen, that's because you so
funny.
Receipts.
Yo, Sean.
You gotta come for her neck, yo. You can't let her sit here and keep on asking questions.
Anyway.
You gotta come for her dome, yo. Show me, Mika. Show me you own a book. Show me a book. Nah. Hey, look. Show me a book.
Look at you.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right here. Let me
Destruction of Black Civilization.
Share my screen real quick.
Need to be reading that with us.
Oh, I have that.
She ain't got that book.
I have that book, but I didn't finish reading it.
Show it.
We've been forbidden.
We waiting on you to show us the book.
Dang, Sean, there's only two sisters on here. How you gonna attack half?
I'm at Mika neck, yo. I know Kisu with us, so she reading and all that. I ain't tripping on that. You see what I'm saying? She got the books. I already knew she had them.
Flexing. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you do that, Mika? Mm-hmm.
Hold on,
Mika, can you do that?
Well, this dude got jokes, man.
The girl ain't even got $20 to buy a book, yo. But she on our channel questioning us about things we wrote about that will help further her knowledge. See what I'm saying? And then she gonna call Unc. She gonna call Unc.
Oh, what?
She finna call Unc, yo. And then she gonna say Sean tripping.
You got a joke.
Go ahead, Satep.
Y'all see it?
Yeah.
So I typed in I went to etymology.com. I typed in Asia. And it says the land of the sunrise. So I was a little bit right on that. Just over there. And then I just scrolled down just to see, and then it had the word Asiatic in here. So I look at the word Asiatic. It says belonging to or characteristics of Asia. So where the sun rises. And it says 1630 from the Latin. And I guess it's the surname of this guy here, but yeah, it's got to do with Asia. It says as a noun, native or inhabitant of Asia. So if you Asiatic, it's saying where you are from, not what you look like. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Oh, so that could be anybody, like I said.
If you say
If
you
you're from that
Asiatic,
area, you're Asiatic.
yeah, and that's all I was saying.
So therefore, anybody could look any old way and be Asiatic. That's my point.
If you was
That's what I
born
was
in
saying.
Asia, if you native to Asia, but none of us are.
So is Russia in Asia?
It's basically no, it ain't. Well, yeah.
Okay.
It is, but it ain't.
It depends. We basically talking about the land and where, in perpendicular to the sun, right? So wherever the sun rises, because the word Asia is tied into the sun in reference to the sun, and that's where it rises. So whenever you see the word Asia, it's in reference to the sun. So wherever you standing at, if you look over that way and Russia over there, it's Asia. You could be considered Asiatic, but it just depends. Like, you know what I'm saying? How technical a motherfucker gonna be with it? You feel me?
Yeah, I think
So
that's.
was she?
I think
Go
that
ahead,
schism, I think that schism goes in with the Greeks and Byzantines when we start talking that East and West stuff.
Well, I mean, you got to know where you at though.
Yeah.
But was
Or
you?
you could just say anything.
Was she asking a question in terms of? Was you trying to say it was some Asiatic African? What are you saying?
I'm saying me.
No, Mika.
Based off the definition. Oh.
No, I was trying to find out
I'm,
what I was calling Asiatic, like what they look like. But from what he just said, it could look like anybody, as long as you're born there. That's what he just said, basically.
I get what I get what you're saying, Mika, right? So if I get up and I go over there with my girl and we have a baby and my baby is over there, I can say my baby's Asiatic. Is that what you're kind of trying to say?
Right.
Okay, I understand that conversation. What I was saying was that because they tried to do that with scientific racism, we're trying to say that the Asiatics came in and civilized and created the glyphs and civilized black people and all of that. That's what I was saying. No, Asiatics don't look like us and they not us is what I'm saying. I'm distinguishing Asiatics from sub-Saharan black African people.
Yeah, but check this out. In Africa, none of the tribes saw themselves looking like the other, or don't see themselves like the other tribe. They saw themselves different.
You say whatever is convenient, because I try
No,
to
but for real though, don't other Africans see other Africans as different people?
No.
we just was on here with people in Gambia that said the exact opposite. People over there right now said that we don't look at, we are one. Like people outside of Africa.
That's what some people say. But
no, I'm talking about people over there.
Right. Africans on the continent who have told me that I sound just like someone born in Conakry, Guinea when I play drums. They look at me, they say, I see you as someone who's born in Balindugu, Northeast Guinea. You see what I'm saying? They're not looking like, even in Kemet, in the glyphs, they depict quote unquote Nubians and themselves with the same skin tone. And they depict the Ham, Shem, and Japheth's picture. Mm-hmm. They depicting all of those Middle Easterns looking a certain way.
Hey, look, man. We know that we know what the Asiatics look like, bro. They named them Asiatics based on, you know what I'm saying, based on knowing where they come from. Like, them people ain't from here; they from over there.
That's what you know what I mean. We saying the same thing, bro. It's based off the land, not the phenotype.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
right. You can look like anything, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We know they ain't us.
We know they ain't us, Mika.
That us part, I don't know what that is.
mean it. Hold on, Mika. When you look and you see a whole group of white women, do you say that they look like you?
No.
Okay, that's what we saying. Them Asiatics was just as distinguishable as about looking at a Caucasian person right now and knowing that she don't belong in your household.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Y'all gonna sit here and tell me white chocolate wasn't from Wakanda earlier?
Nah, bruh. We talking about, because in Africa, it ain't just
I'm
about
just
how you
saying.
look, it's your character.
Right. Yeah, I'm talking about white chocolate from Vlad. He ain't from Wakanda?
No.
Oh, man.
You get it now? You can look and
Bossy.
dress and all that. Right. Look it deep into the question. Carlos, play question.
What he from Al Assoon, whatever that shit was. What'd you say?
I didn't catch that part.
Who?
Where that land
God,
at?
somebody
Where the
type
Moors
it
is at?
hard.
That's Sean.
Oh,
That's
Al
Damn
Andalus.
sure.
that's
Yeah,
only Sean.
They're from Al Andalus, where he is.
Yeah, he typed
The,
it fast
the
too.
dude from DJ Vlad earlier was from wherever you just said.
He's Spain. He's from Spain.
Oh, okay.
Sean just wrote a whole book responding to you in that little typing. He just finished up the sources right now. Like,
That's why his damn chapters be so long. He be having 2-3 chapters in the book. I'm like, yeah, that boy Sean. I'm too hard on myself. But
no,
yeah,
but
man.
Mika, we definitely don't distinguish ourselves like that, saying that, because I'm gonna give you one right now. I'm gonna give you 3 different people in West Africa: Mandinka, the Guro, and the Bambara. And guess what?
Right.
The Bambara know that they're Bambara, but guess what? When they look at Mandinka people, for one, the region, the landmass, to Satep's point, the Bambara people and the Malinke people are sisters and brothers. Period. I'm just gonna tell you that right now, because of where they come from. Bambara people out of Mali, the quote unquote Malinke people on the other side of the border, the European border, what we call Guinea. But all of that was part of the Mali Empire that Sunjata unified. Period. So we know that we all cousins in this joint. We look at our cousins and we don't say you part of a different family. You my family. And that's how African people look at each other.
If that's the case, why we had tribal wars, why we had all of that? If we
Hold
I
on.
told
Do
y'all,
you
didn't
not
she
fight
say
with your
she had to go
cousins?
to work, man, and
Do
she
you not
still
fight with
asking
your
love
cousins,
freaking
though?
questions?
But do you not fight with your cousins? Does that mean that that's not your family? You can
Yeah,
have
she
family
fight
who
with her
you fight
cousin. She
with.
just got her head beat up the other day by her cousin. So I don't even know why we asking her that.
he got jokes. No.
No, that's just reality. That's just reality. We all sitting in here, Big Mama walk out, she leave the remote to the TV on the couch and say, y'all watch TV but get along.
Right.
Which one of us gonna control the remote?
Yeah.
Oh, this.
And sold you to the Europeans. I'm just saying.
Hold on. See,
Mm-hmm.
she going into things that, okay, so
You
let me
see
let me
how
ask you this,
she
Mika.
walked y'all into that,
Let
yo.
me ask you this, Mika.
Yep.
Let
I
me ask
don't
you
know
this,
why
Mika.
y'all fall for that. I would have
Hold
been
on.
kicked
No,
off
we
the
good.
panel.
We good. Hold on.
Mute,
Which
mute.
African people sold who? Tell me.
A lot of them.
No. Because I gave you specifics. I gave you Bambara, I gave you Malinke, and I gave you Guro. So you tell me which Bambara sold which Malinke to which Guro to the European.
My auntie sold my social security number.
No, they stole different tribes.
Again, Mika, tell me which
Uh-huh.
one.
Yoruba, Igbo. There's a whole bunch of them.
Where did the Yoruba come from?
West Africa.
No. That's so vague. That's like saying I play music from the planet Earth. So check it
What?
out. The Yoruba come from a specific region in Nigeria, and the Igbo come from a specific region in Nigeria, what we call in Nigeria. So I want to know, where did the Yoruba come from, and which Yoruba got sold or sold which Igbo?
Right. That one I can't tell you.
That's what I'm saying. So when we say black people are thugs or evil or do this or do that, well, which black person is the one that's committing the crime? Because all black people ain't, quote unquote, not in the European sense criminals, but criminals, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Not all black people sold it. It ain't black and white like that. Like, oh, you sold us. Like, hold on. First of all, you got black people right now that stay next door to you that you wouldn't trust in your house. Come on now. Like, let's not play the game and try to demonize and take the blame off the Arabs and the Portuguese for being over there in the first place. We always fought with each other, but we wasn't trying to wipe each other out like that. We was too busy going over to each other's naming ceremonies. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm talking about pre-colonialism. We was going to each other's naming ceremonies, village to village, traveling with our drums is what we was doing. And yes, we fought. Just like I fight with my cousins, brothers, sisters, whoever. But guess what? We're gonna come back that next day. You feel what I'm saying? And that's gonna be that. Not trying to wipe each other out.
I don't know. That's kind of hard to say according to history, but that's just my opinion.
According to what history?
But see, that's
That's what
all
I'm
our
saying,
cousins
boo. I
that listen
lived
to
this.
R.
Like, come
Kelly,
on.
because all
Show
our
me.
cousins that listen to Teddy Riley don't be fighting, T'Challa. We peaceful people. It's all them R. Kelly
He
cousins.
was Teddy Riley. You know what? Don't
Man,
be
we
coming
been
for R.
coming to
Kelly.
sit Teddy Riley down, man.
Hey
Right.
man, go on and get your records ready, man.
Teddy Riley. Who does he sing? I know it.
Right.
Exactly.
Just so I
No,
can
you
know the
don't.
joke.
You don't.
Point
You right.
exactly.
He behind the
Huh?
scenes.
My point exactly. He said, "Who is he?"
Right.
No, I've heard. I know some music of him, but I just can't. I just want you guys to throw out one song, and then I'll be on track. What song? What's his major song?
Shh. Vasa, where you at?
He ain't
Which
got
one?
one.
No
Which
time
one
to
y'all
cry.
pick? Are you
All
from the
right.
state?
It's over.
No, I want to help.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
name
want to
It's
five
help.
over
R.
my head.
Kelly songs
No,
right
I want
now.
to help. Y'all talking too much. Are you from the state? I hear your accent. Are you
I,
from here?
well, I'm not enough to know. Like I just wanted to catch the joke to know who he was. Like I know who he is, but I
Just
can't
give
bring
her
him
a
to my
song,
He's an
face.
Vasa.
R&B
Right,
singer.
Check, baby, 1, 2, 3, go. Check, baby, 1, 2, 3.
Start
Yeah,
your
I was gonna
Baby,
go
check,
more to
baby,
die
1,
and
2,
just
3.
throw
It's
Jim
the
out
rump
He
there.
listens
shaker.
though.
That's Teddy Riley. Are you
Yeah,
sure?
Man, that's
Yeah,
part of it.
Oh,
Blackstreet. You could have named one of the Blackstreet
I
songs.
can't even name all the songs they sold, you know what I'm
okay,
saying?
guy.
okay. I guess I know who it is now.
Yeah, it was just a little inside joke.
The entire Michael Jackson Dangerous album.
Yeah, Vasa think Teddy Riley is a better artist than R. Kelly. So it's just an inside joke.
Oh, everybody's better than R. Kelly. Are you serious? That's not saying anything.
Thank
Oh
you,
man.
Katie. Thank you. I didn't
Whoa,
know this
slow down
conversation was
now.
going.
Oh
She
man.
went there, yo.
I don't know about
I mean,
that,
I don't
man.
know who Teddy is, but shucks, that wasn't,
I know we don't approve of the things that R. Kelly did in his personal time, but hey, that music though, that's something else.
I'm gonna say this. You know Keisha Cole? Keisha Cole is talented, however, she sounds like everyone else. So in my mind, R. Kelly, he may have talent, right? But not in any extra fabulous way. He's similar to many others. That's all I was saying.
What?
He does not
You need
stand
to
out from
hold
the
on,
rest.
He
sis. You
he
need to watch that
capitalized
Trapped in
off
the
of
Closet.
simplicity.
You need to watch that Trapped in the Closet. This man writes and you visualize it like he different, man. He different.
Pep, you was
Maybe I
12
don't
at
know
the
enough of his
time. That
music. I
don't
don't
count.
really
You were
know. I
12 years
can't really
old
say.
then.
You know, you're entitled to your vibration, though. If he don't, it's certain people that they done told me about plenty of people playing djembe, and I told them to don't even come to the show because they think that they can play. They be like, "Hey, can you come play music like this guy?" No, because he's not playing music. So I
Right.
understand what you're saying. Like, no matter how good he makes sound to other people, like personally, I don't care how good his music sound. He better not, man. Yo, look, I better not
Stop it.
ever see you.
Oh yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I don't care how
Yeah,
good of
child
a
rapist is not
musician you
sexy.
are. Man, around here urinating on folks. What's wrong with you?
Stocks. No, but can I just say this? I really feel that white people just want to put some clown out in front and say, hey, black people do it too. And no, we don't do it too. So it was the one time out of all these billions of years, it was the one time they could catch one black man that they gave many drugs to and did all kinds of foolishness. They said, see, he's weird like us too. No, we're not weird like that. You guys did a whole bunch with R. Kelly that have nothing to fuck to do with us. It was that one time, and they want to put him out in the front.
Everybody just
Hey,
love
have y'all ever thought about this girl ever requesting to be peed on because if she was cold?
Hey man, everybody love
Stop
to
it.
forget about
You know
Michael
what?
Jackson.
You go to that
Man,
corner.
man.
Go to that corner.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk
Go
about
to
it.
the corner.
Damn, Lord, who was
What
it?
if she cold, yo?
Who
She
was
gonna be
it?
warm for about 10
Khan?
seconds.
Didn't Genghis Khan and them drink their urine to keep riding on horses?
Yeah, that's some other stuff though.
It's antibiotics, but shucks, that has nothing to do with what.
Hey,
You
nah,
know,
man, nah.
that's like a real
Hold on.
kind of doggy thing, a phylum chordata thing.
Not to get off subject, I do want to say this real quick about what y'all just brought up. But musically, y'all keep saying because he's not playing instruments or things of that nature, but he has produced music. So he's not just writing the songs, he's also involved in other avenues of producing the music that comes forth. So
Oh, brother, I hear that. I wasn't saying that.
hey, so when we say he's limited to just one thing, yeah, I mean his evilness diminishes a lot for him, but his talent is unique in its own way. He's the reason why most of us got kids right now. Okay, he's the reason why.
Hey, look
And then
here.
you see the one with
I'm
all the
saying, as a
questions went
musician,
mute.
I don't care
The
about none
one
of
with
that.
all the questions went mute.
Listen,
As
You
I'm
know
one
getting
who
what?
can
ready for
produce,
work.
I can
Probably,
produce just anything that he produced, bro. Trust me. Trust me.
probably
I
all
can
their
make shit. I can make
Mozarts
stuff too.
were weirder, and they just want to catch. You know, when we have somebody that's really, I didn't know he was producing as well, right? So that's different. Anytime we have somebody that really holds a bar and makes them look like, a grain of sand, they always want to Bill Cosby them, or you say, oh, but he was dirty and filthy. But most of their Mozarts or anybody that had the inkling to be able to copycat us, even, they were extra weird, like with dogs and cats and animals. So really and truly, I feel like as a community, we should really like buy Felicia all that. Like anytime they show somebody that was really gifted, from the black community, anytime Babylon tries to put it on the TV, just ban it or boycott it or don't watch it, or don't give them any more views, because really and truly they try to downplay, like what this brother was saying. He was gifted still. He may have been a freak, on a pedophile, but most of them were freaks and pedophiles. So why are we focusing on that? It's true, if he has some
Yeah, why
gifts,
we ain't ridicule Prince? Why Prince ain't ridiculed?
Hey,
Huh?
Prince,
because he's an
he's in
LGBTQ.
the
I was
same.
honestly
He's in the
about to
same
say that was my
category.
Yeah,
favorite
because
one
Boston
of
like
everybody.
Prince.
Yeah, let's get it. What Prince
Wait,
do?
what did Prince do?
I
What
don't
did
know.
Prince do?
I don't know. I was talking about Michael Jackson though. I said everybody like to forget about Michael Jackson.
But
Yeah,
what did
Yep.
Michael
Oh,
Jackson do?
okay.
Is not nobody.
Okay, Michael, let's not even talk about him. Michael has
No, Michael
issues.
didn't do nothing, and they
They
set him up.
Yeah, I don't believe Mike.
okay,
They set him
that's
up.
true. They might have.
That's true though. What evidence you got of them wanting to set Mike up?
What?
Man, listen,
Yeah,
That's
they
look
had
at
plenty of probable cause to set up Mike. They had
The
plenty of probable cause. He was damaged. He was damaged,
them stories
but they set him up.
each other, bro. That's why I don't believe, because they got contradicting stories. Every time they interview these motherfuckers, they saying something different. I don't believe it. I ain't riding with it.
That I get. I'm talking about from the musician standpoint. We don't care how well you play your music. We don't care what you produce. Right? That is tied to your talent from the African perspective, and I argue that all day long.
Yeah,
That is your talent, because your ability to not put your hands on the babies, capital punishment, bro.
yeah.
Catch me
You just get
outside.
the
How about
axe.
that? I don't care how good of a music, how many babies you done made off that. You looking at them same babies you made, fool. I'm not
Yeah.
with that, bro. I don't care about none of that. And I'm from Chicago. What's up?
And quiet as kept.
Real ones. Yes, they're from Chicago.
Quiet as kept when they started the gentrification in Chicago a couple of years ago, and they ran all them people out them projects. It was Prince of all people who went up there and did them shows to make sure them people got houses and kept his name.
Yeah, I remember something about that.
So that's why he's one.
I do remember him,
because he was a humanitarian as well as an artist, and he could play all them instruments. That's why I say he was my favorite, because he had so much.
And can somebody say something about his last days, about how he was trying to warn the people about something that's about to happen now, and then they murked him, and then I think his significant other or somebody very close to him was about to warn us, and then they murked her too?
Who, Prince or Mike?
Prince.
I think.
Remember, Prince was.
I think Prince was always. I don't get too lost in the conspiracy theories, but I think both those gentlemen, Prince and Mike, was trying to make us aware of a different game that they was witnessing.
Yeah.
When Mike was, dropping, they don't care about us. He was trying to throw us a sign. When he was saying,
Right.
remember the time, he was trying to throw us a sign. I think where
Right.
his position was, he couldn't speak freely. Same thing with Prince,
Right.
because then it messes up.
Final
Yeah,
times.
it kind of throws
Well,
them off because they in the lion's den. So if I make too much noise in here, I'm gonna wake these lions up.
mm,
But how many can I get out of this cage before they wake up?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Yeah,
what they're trying to
that
do.
remember the time video. You right, cause he did that smooth, bro. At that time, you weren't seeing black people in the part of the rematch.
How many of y'all remember the day it aired?
I don't.
Not the video, but
I remember seeing it.
the day it aired. It was on what, Channel 8, NBC? When do musicians get that kind of pull to make your music video primetime 8 o'clock TV? That was a real life event. That wasn't no music video. People tuned in to Channel 8 primetime America to watch that. And you seeing an all black production with that message behind it? Yeah. And then what happened to Mike afterwards? It's no different than Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes got
What?
on and he tried to put on John Henry Clark and he disappeared.
What?
Yeah. And
What?
what's
He's
sad,
gone now?
Sutek, this is your lane. I think his accountants was pushing that Morris Science Temple of America stuff, and that's what got him in trouble.
Who?
He's gone?
Snap.
He's gone now?
No, y'all remember when he got into his tax trouble? All this is
No.
got in together. He started Almond Ra Productions.
Oh, Wesley.
I remember that.
He started Almond Ra Productions. He did that one film for HBO, The Boy Who Painted Jesus Black, in honor of Dr. Clark, and then he did that Dr. Clark biopic, The Great and Mighty Walk. And as soon as he started that, it seemed like he got in trouble. And come to find out, his accountants was Moorish. He's trying to help as many blacks as he could. That's how I'm looking at it. And he gets in trouble.
Yeah, I ain't know that about the Moors, but I know he had Amin Ra Productions because he had that. He did that. He did Blade. He did the Blade trilogy on that too.
Y'all talking about my boy Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he okay? Is Wesley still with us, or did something happen to him? Okay.
He good. I follow him on Instagram. His kids got Egyptian names. Like I think he got like 2 sons named Akhenaten.
Hey,
Yeah, I saw that.
He got one of the dopest, what do you call them, novels?
Okay.
I don't really read fictional works, but his novel he dropped a couple of years ago, that was dope. And it's centered in Chicago, T'Challa. I think it's called The Falcon's Talon or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was a part of, he joined the Sarset Society here. And you know what I'm saying? He, of course, with the martial arts background, all of that, Huya Poya, right? And yes, he was not paying Uncle Sam what Uncle Sam said you needed to be paying him. And to be honest, the taxation is theft anyway. So if you ask me, I feel like it's all a bunch of shenanigans on the tax thing. Because how you gonna tell me I gotta give you 45% of my earnings, basically, when it all boils down to it, when you factor in the inflation rate from, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I end up with less money than what I even went to work making.
Okay, now when
Can I say this?
stand up and they rebel against that, right? And that's what it is. It's social rebellion. Why is it that they are labeled heroes? Let's pay attention to the totality of American history. George Washington, Jefferson, all them rebelled. Franklin, they became heroes. You decide you're going to do the same thing. I'm a human being, and I'm going to fight for my liberty. You become criminals. You become runaway property. You join a pirate ship. You didn't join it for the freedom and the right to vote. You did it because you chose criminal behavior. You fast forward time to the present day. You got all these brothers and sisters in poverty. Basically, socially slaves, because you're trapped in this community. You can't get out. You use the devices to get out. What do we call them? Thugs and ratchets. So yeah, we really do really have to do a fair analysis of what criminal behavior is for these next generations. That has to come.
Can I make a suggestion to people? Just because right now we need to be conserving all of our money and not giving the Nzungu any of our money. Even as a baby, as a teenager, I learned early in college there's very simple ways that you can write off everything so that you never pay taxes. I want to tell everyone on the panel, for all these years, and I'm not young, I've never paid taxes. I refuse, because that's like me putting my money into Babylon to kill my people overseas, and I'm not gonna do it. So there's ways, and it's not easy. Like there's certain jobs you can't have, but there are some jobs you can. You know how some jobs allow you to be a private contractor, like even with teaching, right? If you are label yourself as if you're dealing with African first type businesses, you can say, I want to be a private contractor. I'll be an assistant, even if you're holding the whole class.
Yeah, that's what I'm an independent teaching artist here in Chicago. So yeah, we get,
Right.
You get your 501c3s going and all types of other stuff. And yeah, I hear you, sis, but most of us we wouldn't even sit here and listen to you long enough because, and that's not taken away from what you just said. I'm just saying that most of us, part of the issue is that we're so jaded and so scarred from everything that we don't even trust each other enough. It goes back to that issue of trust with oral traditions. You just sat there and said something that me and my groups here implement. This is how we get paid. But people ain't finna sit here and listen to you long enough sometimes because why? Because Black people think they know it all. Oh, I ain't going over that. Tyrone said to do this. Man, I ain't think about Tyrone.
They're scary. They're scared. They're scared because the white man told them to be afraid of their own self, their own reflection. So they're scared.
But yeah, what you just said, we be writing off bit when make little trips, the out of town trips, the per diems, all that. Man, come on, man, give me all that.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give them none of my money. They got me messed up.
I think that's why my daddy didn't sign my birth certificate.
I know situations like that too.
He ain't want to pay child support.
Yeah, that too. I forgot.
Stop it.
No, how it was.
Don't be telling my brother's business.
Nah, if I said no, I'd be clowning.
Yeah, these are just jokes. I like to see people smile, and I think that's what's missing from this arena, T'Challa, is a lot of these people are not educated, and I'm not saying that to insult them. So in their mind, they may have a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Fear of not being able to reach the calibers we're aiming for. So if we demystify the idea that being intelligent, you have to dehumanize yourself and become this square and not have no life at all, we're gonna run them away from education. But if you can laugh and have a good time and be yourself, that's how we're gonna get people in. We got to be able to relate to them, and we got to catch them right where they at.
That's how I got my name, bro.
Yeah.
I walked into school with the Black Panther shirt and hat on, and they looked at me and was like, "Okay, T'Challa." And then they sat down, and we was ready for class that week. Like that's straight like that how it went. And because I can actually say something to them in these languages that are featured in these movies, like when it was the morning time, I walk in there, Ini Soma, which means good morning in Malinke. They like, whoa, okay, now I really want to listen to what you got to say because you not only giving us the history of this drum, but you giving us something outside the class that is real and relevant, and we connecting Hollywood, which we all love. And I'm showing you the real, the hairstyles. T'Challa's mother, that was a South African hairstyle she had. You know what I'm saying? Straight Zulu land. Like, come on, man. Yeah.
Yeah, they mixed a lot of different cultures up in that movie, bro. That was a good movie.
Speaking of South Africa, I noticed Orlando Jones bounced back from that American Gods and got picked up to do a series on Nelson Mandela with Lawrence Fishburne last night. I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't know if y'all seen it yet.
I seen the interview where he explained getting fired. Well, I didn't see it. I saw that he put it up there. I gotta watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But not before I watched that video. I told Satep I was gonna watch.
Yeah, Nancy was too powerful for America. He stole the whole show.
Yeah, Nancy the Spider. I love his stories.
Yeah, he stole the whole show.
Man, we gotta find this.
Nancy.
Yeah, the
Black
trickster, the
people coming to
designer.
see Nazi.
The real
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I told my son
Yeah,
he was the
right.
real
The original
Spider-Man. I
Spider-Man.
lied.
Exactly.
He said, is Spider-Man black? Is this a Nancy? No, his first time seeing Spider-Man, I just told him, yeah, baby, underneath that costume, it's a Nancy, and he is black just like us. He was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Nazi. We had another one in the South. Brer Rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, Brer Rabbit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Brer Rabbit. That they say it comes out the Gullah count.
Yeah, it's modeled after Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
Had you seen Street Fight with Philip Michael Thomas and Barry White? I think it's a 1970s cartoon.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I was wondering why he was a black rabbit, or why he was, like, how is that the head of the black mafia? And now you're saying this black rabbit, Brer Rabbit, is so maybe that's why he chose that character.
Yeah, Disney.
But I think you guys should see it because it shows the Italian mafia or the white mafia against the black mafia, and it shows the white mafia being the police and the black mafia being the whole, the field, the street. And it shows a dynamic of how it's been. I would like us to work on how to change it.
Yeah. Didn't they make Barry White a bear in that?
Yeah, he was a bear.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We watched that movie 5 times in a row.
Damn.
Dang.
It was funny. It was really and truly. You cannot have trees. You cannot have 420 and that movie at the same time and think you're gonna stop watching it.
No, you can't. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Especially when they made America that white girl.
Yes, and then she had to clap, remember, and everybody was applauding. It was, yeah, that was, oh my gosh. Me and my brother, we wore that movie out. Shucks. We wore it out.
Or them say, you're not done yet? No, what you mean me not done yet? Watch it again.
That movie, boy, we cried our eyes out. That was so funny. It was that and the Hollywood Shuffle. We wore those movies out.
Yeah, that was a good
Terrence Howard. No.
Speaking of old classics, I know you can appreciate this. Is The Harder They Come. Or is it The Harder They? I think it's The Harder They Come or The Harder They Fall.
No, but I seen that.
Get it messed up.
No, it is. It was something like that. I remember that.
Yeah, The Harder They Come and Rockers. I got that right
and
here,
Rockers.
right now. Yeah.
Rockers.
Y'all name some stuff.
Shatters.
Yep. Them 3 movies is how I taught myself how to speak the language.
Well, do you know that Shatters was off of a real life event, and they had to take all the wives out the movie because they had kidnapped one of the wives. Like Shatters was being, Shatters was. I personally know that Shatters was like we were very close to the Marleys, and so Kimani, we had to figure out who could play a certain roster because there was only one roster in the crew, and that one person had to be big enough that Babylon couldn't just kill him. But the girl, there was one guy, he was a military guy. He was the one that was training everybody. And they snatched his daughter. Like the government actually, with the help, I think, of Babylon, snatched his wife while she was pregnant and tortured her. And so the movie came out a first way. It would have had more of the families in it. And they had to redo it and replace it with Kimani. And kind of downplay, but it was really a movie about United Kingdom trying to use the drug cartels to put pressure on the politicians, the black politicians to drop out and put a white power there. So the country had a revolution 2000 to 2002. The country had a serious blood, like United Kingdom tried to occupy Jamaica. Like that was a real thing. And the people came to all the rosters and said, we need you guys to make blood run. And we did, and lots of blood ran. And like 3 years went by and people didn't get to see their friends, didn't get to, see their mom. It was a real thing. So Jamaica would not be what it is today if all of us did not go hard. Like none of us is confused in Jamaica. None of us think, we know we can't choose. There's no choice. We're all black. Like it's no question. And we had to really do more. We didn't just fight. The Maroons went hard, you feel me? Kumi, like Voodoo went hard, you feel me? Like we went hard, like we will kill your
Obey a
families.
man,
You're
obey a
not
woman,
enslaving
all
us.
that.
We went hard, like they almost re-enslaved us just a few years ago, like within my children's lifetime. I was pregnant. I did not get to go to a hospital. Yeah, that's big. I didn't get to go to a hospital 3 whole years. That like you
I
have
was
to.
just there last November on a cruise. Me and my family, we went to Haiti and
nice.
Jamaica. And we toured. Of course, we stopped at Montego Bay. We couldn't go nowhere else. But they was just telling us, all of the things. We saw a church on every corner. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what it's like. Like, it's oppressed like like they really want,
My brother,
They really oppressed us there, yeah.
my brother, he do those cruises a lot, and he said it's a lot of banks in Jamaica.
Y'all want to know why I love the Cimarron so much? Since y'all at this point, why I just refuse to stop bringing them up? Because you still see African people in South America going through all these ills today as we speak. When they say close the borders, 9 times out of 10, they're not talking about Hispanics crossing that border. They talking about the remnants of black people stuck in Southern American countries who migrate from Panama, Colombia,
Hondurians,
through Mexico, and they trying their best to make it here.
Yeah, because Hondurians, those Hondurians, they Sabs, they look, they're African.
Yeah,
but they go hard though. They're like a different tribe.
And these people don't have no tools, no resources, and they got to migrate through cartel regions, federales, and all these other things in this country and that country just to hope to make it to the United States to break in, just to hope to be treated like a nigga, which means you're still going to be at the bottom.
Right.
So yeah, we still got a big old story to tell. That's why I don't like this arrogance about the whole we African American, but we really just mean we United States citizens now. And we're not telling everything.
Oh, did you know we're not citizens?
No,
we're not really citizens.
I'm speaking towards the ones with that mind frame who separate.
Oh, okay, the brainwash.
Yeah, and they separate themselves from the totality of what happened. Just like was it Dr. Clark who he kind of gets coined for saying it? Didn't know Jamaicans get off the boat. Didn't know Haitians get off the boat. It was Africans. Didn't know Canadians get off the boat. Didn't know Chicagoans. Didn't know New Yorkers get off that boat.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm all for us having pride in where we from and understanding this is where mama from and this is where grandma was from. I'm all for that. We're human. But we shouldn't lose our story along the way either.
The soil don't make the person though, and that's what people don't understand when they want to argue. Like, oh, but you over here in America, we're not in Africa. We don't do things like I'm saying. But I'm an African man, so for you to tell me my morals and values don't mean nothing because I live in America. That don't mean that I have to do everything that America does.
Thank you.
Yeah, just because I step in prayers don't mean my hair gonna turn blonde.
Right, because I have a hard time grasping the concept that I'm American or I'm an Oklahoma citizen. Like, no. I'm from my mama and my daddy, and I'm a human. I don't want my alliance to this idea of a country. I'm my family and human beings first.
To a company, you mean? It's a company.
Right.
It's a corporation.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to identify.
We're American by nationality, but that don't mean we gotta, we don't have our own individual cultures. You feel me?
Right. And I'm all for identifying, these things for geographic regions. Like, that's brilliant that we can pinpoint where we are on a map. That helps. Because if I was trying to make my way to T'Challa, but someone gave me a map to Satep, and I wound up with Kitsu, you get where I'm going? That's going to make for a frustrating adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do things like, no, I'm from the people of the moon or mountains, and I'm from you get where I'm going. When we identify these ways, just think of how that helped.
Man, we're indigenous to the planet.
Right,
Right. I said it all the time.
right.
Can I ask you, brothers, something without you guys? I don't want nobody to clap me away for being spooky, but I feel scientific evidence has been, rendered enough for us to be curious and investigate our allies that we may have inside the earth. Because if Babylon could spend so much money on investigating something, it's not because it's not there. So, of course they're gonna make us, not, they're gonna stigmata us and say, oh no, don't even think about investigating any other species or progenitors because we're gonna laugh at you. Bump that. I want to know, this red hat circle that can be seen from the satellite and inside the earth, since they, something is about to happen. A whole bunch of rich white people and politicians have already entered their bunkers. And in the news, I think, was it, I don't know, it wasn't CNN. It was like a regular local news channel. They said they haven't seen this in several, presidential runnings. Like it's been 30 years since, since people went to their bunkers. And I don't know what happened in America 30 years ago or 50 years, but they haven't seen people run to the bunker. So that means they're going to do something airborne. And so I would like to speak on what's really reaching us or approaching us around the corner, which is a couple weeks. They're telling, he's saying stand by. I think they're going to put something in the air, and that's why they're preparing with gas masks and all these things, and we're going to be left caught short. I think something is upon us. I don't know what it is.
Something may be
but everybody getting ready.
Something may be upon us, but I don't think it's something inside the earth though. Like
I wouldn't say that either. I agree with that.
Yeah, if anything, the allies will be above, like
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be, and I'm not, because you'll be foolish to think, if you look at the solar system and you study space and stuff like that, you'll be foolish to think we're the only intelligent beings here.
Right.
So if anything, they're not inside the earth, they're outside of the earth.
Well, I'm saying both. I'm saying both, but since we can't reach the ones outside, we have to wait for them to come. Maybe we should think about what may be inside the earth. But either way, I feel that Babylon is going to do something airborne, right? That they want to affect the masses of Black population on the earth. And in July of this year, Dr. Brian Cross of Human Life International, he brought to us a referendum that was on the books, and that right now the European powers have spent a lot of money on trying to control the population of Africa, because if it gets past a certain point, which it is right now, it's a threat. And I don't know why that's a threat, but I'm putting two and two together. As a math teacher, that means A, that's us on the planet. We'll get together with B, you understand? That means those of us above the planet, and then C, their white asses out of here. So they've already unleashed a second a second strain of COVID on Kenya. This was announced, Dr. Movie, last week. So I'm really back to that question. What's about to be put airborne? Not just chemtrails. They're about to do something else. Like the past two storms were hard. Everybody could tell it's hard because there's a big old hella wind in California. No rain came with it, but everybody in Jamaica got flooded. You feel me? So something they're doing, like with their machines, is upon us. That's what I'm saying. Like Babylon is about to fuck up some shit.
Can I chime in? Either way,
Yes.
I'm not the type that would beat you up, and I don't think nobody on here would attack you for your thoughts. I think that's a beautiful thing that you're doing and you're thinking. The only problem I would have is when you said all we can do is wait. No, sis. That's the
No, not wait.
no,
I
no,
never
hold
said
on.
that.
Let me no, watch. When yeah, and forgive me for miswording it, but when you was like, all we can do is kind of wait and see what's gonna happen. Something similar to that, and I don't think that was your point of stressing us waiting. But I want to highlight that word in particular. We shouldn't have to wait. If you feel that there was
Yeah, we
something
shouldn't.
in the earth and it's got your curiosity, by all means, you be the one, because it might be your brain that unlocks something there that we were supposed to find as human beings and a people. Or maybe you exploring the stars. And the difference in between us and them is they not waiting on nobody. They doing what they want
That's
to do.
true.
They're not waiting to see if they can go inhabit Mars. One of them got
Nope.
the idea. Let's go to Mars. They support each other and they went for it. So they're
Mm-hmm.
on the mission to make the whole damn universe theirs. We're on a mission
Yeah.
to just make our own history ours. Do you see the difference in our mind frames at the moment?
But see that right there,
They're
this is where,
proactive on it.
because I deal with too much of physics to even entertain personally.
Right.
Now, again, as an adult, to any other adult that wants to believe whatever they believe, like Brother Unk said, it's human to believe. So it don't matter what you say out your mouth. Me, Sutek, brother, sister Kisu, brother Vasa, it don't matter. You can believe whatever you want, right? But when a person does embark on the endeavor to understand what a planet is and what is possible in terms of what we've been able to do as human beings, and what's habitable and what's inhabitable conditions for human beings,
Mm.
um, it's certain things that I no longer entertain that I may have entertained like over a decade or 15 years ago. Because I used to too wonder, like, well, could people be living underneath, underneath the seafloor, or you know what I'm saying? But when you study what the earth is, not what you think it
Mm.
is, not what some European map has showed you it is, when you study exactly what the earth is made of and how it's made, when you study, if you was to take all of the ocean water out, what would you be left with? You'd be left with big ass craters into the earth, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand this. When you go so far into the earth's crust and mantle and all of that, you got to understand that there is no life at our size there. You see what I'm saying? There's life there, but it
No,
don't
I
look
don't mean
like us.
human. I don't mean human. And that's what I was trying to say. I didn't want you guys to say I'm being spooky because I know that there's other kinds of beings, and I was saying life
And
inside the
I'm
earth. I
not
don't mean
saying you
human
being
life.
spooky, sis. I'm talking about
Okay.
when you study. So I study nature. I study all of the animals, not all of the animals, but what I'm saying is I study enough animals to know the habitats for said beings, us included. Um, I'm
Hmm.
gonna say this: living in the earth like that, what can we observe that actually lives in the earth that comes up out of the earth?
Plants.
Gremlins,
Come on, no, Vasa, no, I'm having a serious moment, like for
plant,
real, for real. What
Because
plants.
they
comes
had
up and out of the earth?
Out the earth, I would say plants, ants, insects like that, that come
there's been
out.
footage of crafts coming up from under the subterranean crafts coming up out of the water. So I was saying like alien life. That's what I meant. Other intelligent life from
Ooh.
outside of the earth. It doesn't breathe oxygen like us. That's why I was saying don't laugh at me for being
Oh,
spooky. I was saying
so
from
wait a minute. Let's back up for 1 second. So, what footage shows what animal did you mention?
I said aliens. I didn't say animal. I
Yeah,
said
Okay,
aliens.
okay.
I think you
So watch
Subterranean
said,
this. Watch
crafts.
this. Watch this. Watch this. Coming up out of the soil is what I'm asking.
No,
Let's deal with.
out
We
of
ain't
the
gonna get.
ocean. The ocean. Out of the
Hold on
ocean.
1 second, because I asked about the soil. We're gonna get to the water in a minute,
Okay.
because the water is a
Okay.
whole nother. I'm gonna say this: you can go into the ocean and you will see more life in different kinds of life that you ain't gotta say that it's some type of alien, because the word alien comes from Hollywood. Let's just get that established,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So when we talking about any type of reptilian type creature, that's Dr. York information. Number one. Let's get that
Right. Right.
established.
Right. 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 Right.
Three, I study enough life on this planet to know that the most bizarre thing you'll ever find will be deep in the ocean and not up in the stars. We know more about outside this planet than we do the inside of the planet. Let's get that established. And what I'm saying is, what you're saying is, oh, there's a lot of different kind of life that we haven't seen and experienced deep in the ocean. Yes, they're called different forms of jellyfish. They're called, you know what I mean, these
Mm,
different type of puffer fishes and all these other type
I
of fishes and things that we haven't necessarily seen with our naked eye. Yes. But when we talking about beings that's able to communicate on frequencies just as intelligent as us, we would have to say that they're humanoid type creatures in the sense that they have the voice box, the larynx, right, the trachea, the bronchioles, and all of that to be able to produce intelligent sound like we do. And scientifically, the evidence does not show that, is what I say to that statement.
That they
Scientifically,
have
we haven't
given
found
us.
anything like that.
Well, I'm saying that we've honestly, to be fair, they don't render. Babylon doesn't render to the black community what they find more
I'm talking
more
about
often
black
than not.
scientists,
Well,
sweetie.
I'll say, yeah,
No, 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 no. I'm saying, but black scientists, listen, black scientists may not have the availability of the technology to go subterranean to see what's in those caves. That's what I'm like, what we have is limited because of how Babylon conceals what we had before. Like we knew everything before, and then they
So
took all of our
to
knowledge
that
and covered it
point, so
up.
let me ask you this: to that point, how do we know that the footage that you say you saw of a reptilian type of being is in Hollywood itself?
That's why I'm
If you
asking
make
you
the art
guys, because I
if you
don't know.
make if you
I'm assuming.
if you make the argument, I mean, based on what I know about human DNA and how our biologically, like I study a lot of life, is what I'm saying. Like I know I talk
Okay.
about boxing and fighting and music and language, but I also study that from a nature perspective, meaning that I'm studying the different kind of dung beetle species to know that if somebody was to say I saw a dung beetle headed person, I would look at them crazy, right? Because ain't nobody ever seen no Kepper person, right? Like people that try to say that the deities of Egypt was real. Like, no, they weren't real. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by this
Okay.
alien reptilian type of humanoid being that comes from Hollywood. That's the only time we ever
Um.
saw that and ever started talking about that.
Okay. Can I just say this to you? I'm okay. What I'm really asking you, like, I want you to understand. Like, I'm not positing anything. I'm actually, my mind has gone there based on what the dolphin is, based on the fact that one out of every African, West African, okay, a certain child in my family had uh holes above her, like, in between your ear, the top part of your ear and the temple, like where you might
yeah.
rub if you get a headache,
I know
Yeah,
or
somebody
like,
with that. I know
yeah.
somebody.
I know
okay.
where you're going.
So the doctor showed us, it was a Nigerian doctor, and he said, one, because my family said, what is this? And the baby kept going underwater and staying underwater, and um she was born underwater, but she still had those holes before she was born. See, so it said that one out of every nine, West African coastal child has this trait of dolphinness. And so if black people, so I'm saying that our DNA, right? I'm very sure that our DNA, we've been amalgamated and raped over so much that we've been watered down. I'm saying our original authentic Dogon tribe of Mali DNA was more than what it is now. And I'm saying that there were more parts to our bodies that we could use, like our infrared vision, right? We had night vision. Everybody who has a child knows that your baby has night vision for its first couple of years, right? Especially if it doesn't watch TV. Um, I'm thinking that, I'm wondering, right? I'm really asking you. It seems like it's scientifically possible from what I know about the human body, right? Because I birth babies. That because we are already amphibious, what if we were way more amphibious, and that's why they did so much with these vaccines and this this genetic warfare, because they are afraid of us. Like, they're afraid of us. Like, we can
Well,
feel and
wait a
see that
minute,
they're afraid
sis.
of us now.
Vaccines, the precursor to vaccines come out of the area that we all come from, West Africa, for one. So
Oh.
we was inoculating in West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And two, yes, we're amphibious, but the way evolution works and the way we work in the womb, I'm going to say that, like, with the whole, because what you're alluding to is the whole reptilian, quote unquote, as they say, part of our DNA, right? They talk about this reptilian DNA, and they really don't study the human body enough to understand. I'm talking about people who are saying, "Oh, well, we have the ability to breathe at a certain stage in the fetus. We breathe water." Yes, we do. But then those gills do what? What happens to the gills of the human body?
They dry up,
Long
or
before we
they
even get out of the mother's womb.
out of the womb,
They're
right?
not. So ain't no white man coming into your womb messing with my gills, is what I'm saying, right? So with because there's a lot into that conversation. Because once you say vaccines, then you say reptile, then you say this, then you say that. Not you specifically, but anybody who really believes in all of the stuff, not asking a question, but to really believe. And so you
No,
have to
what I'm
study.
saying,
You have to study enough of life to know that certain things just aren't even like no, we don't have infrared vision and never have. In fact, the human
well, you
eye
know,
doesn't even hold on. The human eye
Yeah,
doesn't even see color. Not color the way you think you do.
It's a
So if you
so
reflection.
see
you
a
know how
red, if
the Kenya, you know how they did the infertility thing. You know how there's certain things that they've been putting into the women, right, to stop the fertility rate. So I'm saying if they've been putting something poison into us to make us produce less babies, right? I'm saying that whatever they're putting is probably dumbing down our abilities that we normally, like we have certain
I'm
abilities they
saying
don't have. Like we have bow legs, so we
I've
can run
studied the
faster.
human body enough from a physical trainer's perspective. I know enough about the human body to know that my eyes do not have the capabilities as Homo sapien sapien or as a black man, original man, of infrared vision, night vision, none of that. And the reason
Oh,
why I
what
say
happened to
that,
you? I'm Superwoman.
listen, let me finish. The reason why I say that is because if you look at an apple that's green, you think you're
Hmm.
looking at a green apple, but that apple is not actually green.
Hmm.
The apple is reflecting the light that it has not absorbed. It's rejecting a certain amount of light. That's the way the human eye sees color.
Yep.
It's looking
Hmm.
at something that you think you're seeing what you're seeing, but that object is actually reflecting or rejecting the light that it doesn't absorb. That's why you
Like
have
a
to come up with
prism.
more
There you
tools
go.
in science
Just like
to
a
be
prison.
able to record data because eyewitness testimony don't mean nothing in court. You
I
can't
know.
talk about what you said you saw because what you think you saw, you
It could
actually
be an
didn't
illusion.
see.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally from a physics perspective. That's why I say I study physics from a molecular level. We talking about things that are possible that is just not even possible. It's only Hollywood movies and video games is where it's possible and where we put the spears to the pins.
And that's exactly what I meant by you don't wait to do the studying, because here we might have a group of people saying put this crystal on your neck and it's going to give you infrared vision, while you got another group of people taking that crystal and understanding what infrared vision and the spectrum is of a prism. Do y'all get where I'm going? They're using the same exact
Yeah.
thing but different ways. One's going to advance, and sad to say it, one is going to become degenerate,
Hmm.
and we don't want our people becoming degenerate. Um,
True.
but yeah, when you said they just, it's crazy y'all talking amphibians. They just found new frogs in Colombia. So I'm sitting back looking at it like, dang, I wonder, and I'm not for sure if they're poisonous or not. I think they was poisonous. So I'm sitting back thinking to myself, well, when our brothers and sisters, our ancestors landed there and they had to migrate through those jungles, how much of their knowledge did they bring from Africa? Like, oh, I wonder if I can take this frog and make a dart with it. This plant looks familiar. So this is why we should do like T'Challa said and study as much of this natural world that we possibly can. It belongs to you.
So
I tell everybody
do
this:
you?
everything you see, you hear, you touch, and you taste belongs 100% to you, because you're going to be the only one that sees it that way. You're going to be the only one that hears it that way. You're going to be the only one that touches it that way. When you can embrace that kind of mentality to say you are part of this universe and not become arrogant like the white people did, and you can see that, dang, if this is like this for me, then it must be like this for mama, and it must be like this for
Hmm.
brother T'Challa, and it must be like this for sister Kisu. What do? You begin to treat mama and Kisu and T'Challa
With
and
respect.
Satek and Satep with the same amount of respect you want to be treated with. You're going to start treating them exactly how you want to be treated.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
man. When you dealing with like aliens, as they call them, you can see like how it comes from the mind of man. Because most times these when you see these aliens, they got two eyes up front, they got a nose, they got a mouth, they got two arms on the side of their body, they got a torso, they got two legs at the bottom. Like you can obviously see this comes from the mind of man. Like who
Yeah.
how was
They're
it?
wearing human clothes.
alien? How is an extraterrestrial from a whole nother different planet or galaxy look so much like a human? The same
Yeah.
way that God does, the same way that God breathes and he walks through the Garden of Eden, the same way he regrets and get angry. That's human stuff. That's how you know
Yeah.
it comes from the mind of man.
Well,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
can
tell
I
me
ask you
no
guys
alien can
if you
come bring
really
me some Stacey Adams so I can walk on
who
Capitol Peace for the rest of my life.
stop it. Okay. So can I ask you all this? Um I'm just still okay. So really and truly, everyone knows that if people are scrambling for something, then there's a reason. And I I do I know that they're not spending money, so much money and resources and being friends with Russia for the space program for nothing. Like it's not just because they need to go onto the moon to live because they're about to mess up Earth. I think it's I think their panties are in a bunch because they're afraid of something. Like they're moving like they're afraid of something. And
Well, they
um
build bunkers for bombs, for
Yeah,
one, right?
right.
So let's
and
let's just let's just start with let's just stay because again from let's just stay in reality for a second. Well, what we can observe and what we can bear witness to for sure.
There we go.
I'm gonna say
Stop
that the
it.
black woman in her womb has more quote unquote superpowers than any reptilian alien green Martian attack looking man that want to fight with the helmet on, chewing gum so he can breathe. Like, come on now. Like, I'm saying that the fact that you bared life and that your mother bore
Mm,
life to you and her mother all the way back, yo, is
that's
more
powerful.
like uh the truth is stranger than fiction. Let's just put it that way because
It's
you
more
you you,
powerful.
you go out in your backyard and you notice three different kind of species of ants and you notice more harmony, more collective work. I mean, insects got more common sense than human beings as a whole, as a species, with
Mm-hmm.
how we ruining the planet and
Facts.
what we doing. That I agree with you. But what I will say is that Mother Nature don't need man to interfere to try to make no hurricanes artificially, because hurricanes are gonna occur, unfortunately.
And
Unfortunately
always
for
had.
us, but it's an inevitable fact if you study geology.
And you can
Okay,
talk
Yeah.
about the monsoons and all that. Like you know what I'm
right.
saying? It's stuff that happens all over the globe. Like,
hmm
that's been occurring before we became aware of all of it simultaneously. So,
Right.
I used to look into all that pseudo stuff, the harp and all that. Like, man, that's just, man, that's, you need to
and
come
You
up.
don't believe they have a heart machine? Really?
I
don't
You
would say
can't you
that. I
can't
would
make
say that.
you cannot make a wet you cannot make a hurricane from because you don't even know what the heart machine does.
yeah.
So it's
No, I
like
mean
for
like you
one we
know how
gotta
something can make it rain, can do something to the clouds to make it rain in a certain area. You don't think they can do?
well I study geology and
I
I
think it's
know
a
what
desire
causes
of
clouds
man.
to form. And so if you collect enough water vapor, yes, you can create an artificial cloud. Of course you can.
Right.
But what I'm
Right.
saying is they're saying that they're generating full on hurricanes, which I'm saying that if you the ocean and the wind currents alone will produce a superstorm. And it shows us time and time again. That's why hurricane season is what it is.
Now, if they was producing it, they'd be able to produce it out of season.
Right.
Yeah, and
I would like to see that.
don't get too caught far in the stars that you forget what they're doing here on land. You mentioned Russia and America working together for space exploration. I'm here to tell you that they would rather put their money in completing this mission. They really, really, really want
Yeah.
to be able. They really, really want to be able to create ships that can go from Russia, Asia, and Europe across Antarctic oceans and break through all that ice. So all the shipments and transport is cheaper because you're not traveling as far, which means it's cheaper on gas, and you're getting these goods from country to country or continent to continent quicker.
What
But
about that underground
this is up in
monorail?
Arctic. This is up in Arctic, the Arctic Ocean. They'd rather bust through that ice right now than to really, really, really focus on going to Mars. They'd much rather do that. But them doing things like this, just look at what it did. It created an opportunity to put all the continents together in one entity of their trade system. You get where I'm going? They're creating nuclear ships to break through that ice right now. While they're doing that, they find out that all those Inuit people, due to the fact they was pushed into Alaska and northern Canada, and no one was really thinking, well, who owns the Arctic Ocean up here? They find oil. Now, guess where they wanting to fight at? So this could be a lot of what you see between America and Russia going on, but they just not telling us all their family business. You get where I'm going? So when we come in and we start hearing nuclear and this person gets a little bit of information and this person, now we playing the telephone game. They just found an alien and they found a nuclear bomb on that ship somewhere in Antarctica. And now we go on these rabbit hole chases versus just slowing down and we realizing that we're just as intelligent and we can navigate our ways through these things. And never be afraid to ask
playing, man. You know young Pharaoh showed y'all that mummified alien. I don't know why y'all playing.
That's crazy, man.
And he had on a Gucci belt.
Stop it.
He did.
Hey, it had locks down to his feet, yo. I was like, yo, check him out.
Was his nails done?
We just gotta demystify that stuff. That's all.
A Gucci bag. I'm mad at that.
Yep, Frederick Douglass had Wi-Fi. He did. He had that Wi-Fi.
Oh man,
the antennas.
Yeah,
that's what we discussed too. Frederick Douglass and the boys, because I know y'all been in it, y'all been in this kind of community a little longer than me. So I ain't really got a chance to get deep in that argument and know what's going on between that element of the boys and
Booker T.
And Booker T. I mean,
yeah, yeah. It's simple. Are we going to remain industrial, or are we going to become scholarly? Are we going to go to the city and join their world, or are we going to create our own? Those was the two fallouts in the most basic form.
Yeah,
I'm about to hop off here, good people.
Yeah, I'm about to end
good building with y'all.
Almost 3 hours. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Everybody that came through, we'll start doing this a little more often. The after shows to the actual shows, the presentations. You know, to get the audience a little more involved and just have these discussions and builds, man. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here. But until next time, we will be coming back tomorrow for this big announcement. So y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all come through tomorrow to Kofi Pie TV.
What time?
What time? I don't know when. I don't know when Sean's supposed to be. We gotta ask Sean. That's Sean or Kofi. It's both of them. It's both of them. No.
It's gonna be in the afternoon.
Yeah, it'll probably be in the afternoon.
Okay.
It'll probably be in the afternoon time.
Because this is a surprise announcement, so they, they wanna.
In other words, like Teddy Riley said, let's chill. Let's settle down.